Boy, it feels good to win a game. You know what feels better? When you win two. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the same old Arsenal USA. We are, in the words of Troops, back again for another episode. We've got a game tomorrow against Wimbledon in the Carabao Cup, and then there's another match over the weekend. I think we play like on Sunday or something. It's just a little thing. It really doesn't even matter, that game on Sunday. I think we play Sunday. It's all but meaningless. It doesn't mean anything at all. So to my left, I got it right on the first try. Boom! That's how I roll, baby. Ars Bros Ryan, who's probably muted right now. You were muted, weren't you? You muted yourself, and you were going to try to talk.
Well, no, I was just going to say, if anything, I'm to your right. I guess your I guess your left makes sense.
You're to my right as I'm watching, but you're to my left. I'm pointing to my left, and that's where you are.
But you're not here. Yeah, okay. I don't know.
Anyway, how are you?
Good. Yeah, good. I said this on the show earlier. I'm excited. I'm going to have my couch here before the North London Derby. So we win, I keep it. We lose, back it goes to the furniture store. So,
and hopefully they don't run a blue light over it.
Well, if we lose, if they lose, we're not going to find it. The problem is, if we win and I return it, which I won't return it, but if we win and they run a blue light over it, then yeah, they're going to be.
My advice would be don't take off the cellophane.
Good, Stan. Very good call. However it shows up at your place, leave it like that. Just leave it like that for a solid 3 days.
No, I was just thinking it'd be easier to wrap up again when it definitely has to go back.
Yeah, right. That's awful. Stan, how are you?
I'm not bad. As I said yesterday on Ray's channel, other than my ongoing battle with foot fungus, I'm fine.
Ew! Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh my God.
I mean, I don't really know where to go from there.
I've basically got one foot and the other one's like a hoof.
Oh my God.
He's
oh.
Rowan,
dude, that's
Rowan, top it. Go. You got to beat that now. Go ahead.
This is just too much for me. I'm like, I can't do it. I'm good, Tanner. Just excited. 2 wins. Now we talk about 2 more wins coming up, and Arteta all the way. He's gonna win us the league.
Whoa! Pump the brakes there, cowboy. Pump the brakes. Anyway, making his triumphant return.
I wasn't gone that long.
After a week off, it feels like you were gone for a while.
I know, it does feel like it too.
The thing is, we were off the week before that, so we came back last week. So you've been gone 2 weeks, really.
Yeah, but I wasn't paying attention last Tuesday.
That's all right.
I was doing great.
Neither was I.
I did have this beer.
My son is taking a dump 10 feet away from me. Yeah, but go ahead, move on. Close the door.
You've just topped my foot.
He just topped the foot thing.
No, that's not topping a foot.
Oh, it is. That tops it.
Oh, get out.
Anyway.
Good fellas.
Oh, Lord. Oh, boy. Must be bad. He cropped us, didn't he, Glenn?
Well, oh, God, you guys are so lucky we don't do this all in one room. Oh, this is awful.
No,
I'll be right back.
We're lucky we don't all do it in that room.
Listen, I'll be back in 2 seconds. I seriously got to get Lysol.
Yeah. Oh, my God. We are off to a rousing start here this evening, gents.
Just in case you thought we weren't live.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, we're live. We are live. Anyway, Stan, I'll start with you. Another 1-0 win.
Yeah.
It's funny. I think I just saw Tim Stillman on Twitter. Actually, he didn't just put it out. He put it out some time ago, but I just saw it. He says all this talk about how Burnley is a house of horrors for us. House of horrors, not horrors. Horrors.
Who's?
No one was thinking that, Tanner, until you said it.
House of Who's.
That's a horse.
Who was? But he said Arsenal have never lost a match at Turf Moor. So we get bullied, we get beat up, but we always get a point coming out of Turf Moor. And on Saturday we got 3. It's 2 points more than goals that we scored, but I guess beggars can't be choosers at this point. Yeah.
No, I mean, when was the last time? I mean, look, when you get a set piece, whether it's a corner or a free kick, it's an opportunity to try and score a goal. And usually when we get set pieces, that's when I'll nip up and go and maybe like getting a beer or nip to the toilet, because we never really do anything with these. But we're in a situation now where I think we've got a couple of players that can provide end product from a set piece. Had Odegaard not got in that pitch of a free kick, then it may have just ended as a 0-0 draw, right? Because we're still missing something at the top end, at the sharp end of the squad. Still misfiring, and I'm sure at some point in the podcast we'll go into that in more detail. So I'm trying to look for the positives, and then what I take away is 1, we scored from a free kick. 2, we actually got a result from VAR. I mean, it feels nice, right? Everything was kind of going in our favour. But as much as there were some good points about getting those 3 points at Burnley, we're still missing something. But I'm seeing green shoots a little bit now. Two games, it's a run. It's an unbeaten run. And it's nice now that, okay, Wimbledon aside, we go into the next league game with that win under our belts against the old enemy.
Can I just ask, what does it mean, green shoes?
Green shoots, like...
shoots.
Yeah. Not shoes.
Yeah, whatever. You're the one talking about foot fungus, so I had my mind on... All right, go ahead.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey, I got a short answer. Can I go next? I agree with everything Stan said, except I'm a slight variable. Stan, you turned me on to this after that Manchester City game. You said on the show, look at the schedule, guys. Let's take it from there when we come back from the international break. I looked at the schedule. I said, okay, I'm going to break this down into little bits. I want to win the first 3 Premier League games. Burnley, who do we beat the first?
Norwich.
And Spurs. All right, that's what I want. Job done 2 times in a row. I'm thinking positive. I don't care how we got the 3 points. I don't care, and I don't care how we get it against Spurs either. I just want the 3 points against Spurs. It's to me that starts the season all over again, fresh start.
Hey, Glenn, you're not allowed to go next. I'm coming to you last, by the way.
Oh well, that was my whole thing.
Well,
I got it.
already.
Hence the joke.
Oh.
I didn't get it either, Glenn. So
Clearly, you didn't get. Well, Glenn has an excuse as to why he didn't get it.
What?
You haven't exactly, Rowan. Well, Rowan, I'm gonna come to you actually after Ryan, because I think you're probably closer to my standpoint on it. But I'm gonna let Ryan go ahead, and then Rowan, I'll come to you.
I really don't understand how. I kind of have an idea of how you guys can be so negative about it, but the fact that
I'm not negative.
Yeah,
I want to clarify. I'm not negative.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I am. What's the word that I used? Uninspired.
Peeved?
I am uninspired.
Yeah.
Ahead, right.
Wait, but how can he say that when Rohan hasn't gone yet? I agreed with positive Stan, and BG, you've barely said a word about it.
I'm going to let Ryan go. Ryan, go ahead.
Well, Glenn, if you didn't leave our chat that we have for the show, you probably would have an idea. Anyways, I'll be honest. My beer of the week this week is kind of lame. I don't know. I couldn't think of it. I couldn't really find a good one. Glorious IPA, because it's glorious. I mean, the fact that why I'm happy is because we beat Burnley at their own game. We were more physical than them. We challenged them to every ball. We were willing to just go to the death with them. And I get if we didn't score that free kick, it probably would have been 0-0. But we showed fight, and we pushed back when they pushed us first. And that's something that this team hasn't done in years, probably like a long time. So it was really nice to see us, fight back. And even early on when we were fighting back, Ashley Westwood, Ashley Barnes, carded. Ashley Barnes was just in the ear of the referee, screaming, complaining, whining. So yeah, it was glorious. So cheers, boys.
Stan, who is he? Glorious Bobby Roode.
Say again.
Who is he? The glorious Bobby Roode.
Bobby Roode. Yeah.
All right.
Glorious.
Is this going to be the obscure jokes and references show?
No,
because that's
just,
two that I haven't gotten in 5 minutes.
It's wrestling. Stan knows what I'm talking about. So Rowan, bring us all back down to earth.
With a bump.
You know what? Like, uninspiring because I haven't enjoyed the game. And I don't know. Like, I sometimes question myself whether I've become a bad fan because, and this seems to be going around lately, like bad fan, good fan. Anyway, so if I'm a bad fan, earlier I used to be glued to. My eyes were glued to the TV and I would be watching each second and like each microsecond. But now I'm sort of watching 5 minutes and then I'll probably spend 3 minutes on my phone or doing something else. I'll watch again if the commentator says something. It's that sort of a thing that's got me, not very happy. In this game, we played all right. We didn't play too badly. Our final ball was missing. If we had the final ball, we could have scored more goals. But if my aunt had balls, she would. So that's the thing. Now, we scored from a free kick, which we never do. So Stan's pointed that out. And, in midfield, Odegaard was a big positive. He played well. Odegaard was a big positive for midfield. But, Burnley has been a difficult place for us also. Even though we haven't lost to them in the longest time, even though, we used to win until the last 3 games, I remember so many games where we won in and after the 90th minute when Sanchez had to score a penalty, when we scored a last minute winner. It was always like that. And for a physical team who want to, beat us up and not play us out of the park, they're going to beat us out of the park. They whine and complain so much and, roll around and complain to the referee. It's just like, it's comical, right? And, all of that put together, it wasn't an enjoyable watch the game, but the table seems nicer. We are now, going into the North London derby against the champions of September. Might just match them on points, right? And I feel like we are the team on the up. Even though they had 9 points from the first 3 games, they were very lucky against Wolves, against some of the other oppositions that they played. So, given all of that, a healthy win might even put us above them. So, there are positives to take, but the football in itself has not been enjoyable, and nobody can tell me otherwise.
And I don't think anybody really would try to tell you otherwise, to be honest with you. As we hear all the time, it's a results-driven business. It's what have you done for me lately? And I'm one of those people. I say it all the time. But it's just when you look at the bigger picture overall, and you look at the way we're playing, to me, it just says, "Yep, okay, the result is great." But we look at you don't, if you didn't watch the game and you open the newspaper and you read the result and you say, okay, well, are you inspired? I think the answer is no. You know what?
I would actually disagree, especially about today's game. The Burnley game. The one thing I will say to Rowan, I guess this isn't really the football, but it's part of the game. I enjoyed when Kieran Tierney went down with cramps and the Burnley guy was trying to pick him up and Ramsdale get the fuck out of here. We didn't have that. We don't have bite. I enjoy when our players are coming to other players' backs and defending. They're defending each other.
Real quick to your point, real quick.
Yeah.
Just throw Gabriel in there too, because he was right behind Ramsdale getting involved in that little mix too.
Yeah, and it's a picture that's obviously viral and it's out there. Yeah, I think that for me that's enjoyable to watch. I'm someone that I when I play when I play pickup now with people, if I'm playing with certain people one day, different people another day. When I'm playing with a certain when I'm playing with the team that I'm playing with, I'm defending my team. I'm supporting my team. If something goes down, an argument busts out, I'm going to take my team's side. I'm going to. I don't want to say go to war for my team because it is just pickup. But yeah, I think that the passion that we showed, the fight that we showed, and watching someone like Ramsdale, who is very new, very young, showing that fight, showing that he can be a leader and defend his teammates instead of putting their arm around the other team. And I'm not going to name names. I'm sure we'll talk about this person later. But yeah, I think that to me is enjoyable. I mean, if we had lost, would I be saying that? It'd be a positive for me. But yeah, that to me that's enjoyable because we haven't shown bite as far as the physical side of the football in years, and to me that I'm excited and I'm definitely looking for. I mean, I'm always looking forward to games, but now more so that we could compete physically with the likes of Burnley, who are probably one of the more physical teams, if not the most physical team in the Premier League. So I think that's a huge positive that we could take going forward.
Can I ask a side question to what Ryan just said? Ryan, this is a question for you. Does it bother you that Burnley, who barely finished above the relegation zone and they averaged 38% possession a game, is it really that big a thing to you when I feel we should be, dominating them? You made it sound like, yeah, we am I interpreting what you said wrong?
What did you?
I'm saying that Burnley is not a good team, and you're
neither are we.
Okay, now I see. Now I see why you say. Okay, now I see why you said that. Okay,
like back-to-back 8th place finishes, no Europe. This is the second game with all of our signings together. Like I said, baby steps, and the fact that we could really give it to Burnley on our second game with all these signings, I'm impressed. I mean, I'm not over the moon, saying we're going to win the league. And do I want Arteta to still be here? That's another question entirely.
I'm sure BG has that on the list.
But
I'll throw it back to you, BG.
Oh, Ryan, go finish your thought.
No. I mean, I will just say that just shows progress, and it's gonna take a while. We're gonna see little signs here, little signs there, but the physical side of the football, the willingness to stand with each other, fight for each other, fight with each other. That's something to me that I don't want to say priceless. I can't think of the right word, but it's very. It's
going
valuable.
in the right direction.
It's valuable to me.
It's going in the right direction.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it is, and Stan, I guess just piggyback off what Ryan is saying there, but yeah, as the days go by here after this win, I do find myself becoming more positive. I'm looking for things to be positive over, and I guess and Ryan makes a good point. There's fight there now. There's we've seen it here and there. I don't think it's been as non-existent as what Ryan is making it sound.
When have we seen it? We saw it from what, Ganduzi, and where is it?
Rob Holding. Come on, Rob Holding is one of those dudes, and you know it. We'll get in there and mix it up. Come on.
I know. I don't really agree with that. I think he's someone that he's up for a fight, and he'll. How do I say this? Like, he'll push and shove the other player, and then the other player pushes back after the whistle. He'll just smile and laugh at them, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. I'm not disagreeing with that.
Because at that point, hasn't he earned the retaliation penalty?
No, I agree, and that's exactly how I play.
That's the
I get in your head, and when they react, I laugh at you. I guess, but it's one person. I feel like Burnley, it was the team, whereas one person every so often in Rob Holding. Yeah, I was coming at it from more of a team.
No, I know exactly how you're coming at it.
Yeah.
Well, Stan, positive for you. to see Ramsdale and Gabrielle Mega Legs jump in there. Not necessarily Kieran Tierney's defense.
Oh yeah, I
per
love
se,
it.
but yeah,
I
get the
love, I
fuck
love
out of
it. Yeah, I love a little bit of that. I love a little bit of comradeship, and we've been lacking that. There'd be many a time when Kieran Tierney would probably sat down there on the turf, and there's no Arsenal players around him. They're all walking off around the pitch, staring into space, and just leaving it, just waiting for the whistle to sound to continue again. Not getting involved. Not being in the moment. So, yeah, I agree with Ryan. It's these little things that are signs that there's that these. There's a lot of players coming to this team, a lot of new faces, right? A lot of people have left, so it's a sign that they're trying to get along. There's a nucleus there that's growing into a good team.
And I like it even more so because you can't blame the manager, you can't blame the system. There's nothing. It's like these players are here for each other, and it's like we're here. There's you can't say Arteta in, you can't say Arteta out about it. I mean,
you can't coax that into someone. You either have it or you don't.
That's
Exactly.
true too. Yeah, that's a good point.
A little bit like Leno, in command in the box. You either have that personality to command other people and have that way about you, or you're more introverted, right? And you just don't do it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Positive, right? Like not just the fight of the game, but I feel like Ramsdale is better at commanding the box overall, right? He came and gathered crosses and everything that Burnley had to offer. Ramsdale was right up there, and I'm not really sure. And this is not Leno bashing. Leno is a great shot stopper, but his distribution and his command over the 6-yard area is not great. And Ramsdale sort of in the last 2 games has me thinking that he has that part of the game.
Okay, before we got Ramsdale, I'd still rate Leno. I do. I rate Leno. Okay, when we got Ramsdale, I knew that he was a decent goalkeeper, and I researched him. I'm like, okay, in my opinion, Leno is better. Now, I just before I took my sabbatical, one of the last tweets that I did was, I rate Leno, but surely Ramsdale has taken his spot as the number 1. I hope that Arteta applies that logic when Xhaka comes back. So, that's the only thing that concerns me now. I'm confident going into the Spurs game, and I just hope that, okay, Arteta rates Ramsdale more than Leno. I hope he realizes this team is playing well without Xhaka. I know that's what everybody says.
Nice little slip in there.
We'll
get
there eventually, but since the topic of the goalkeepers has come up,
we ain't leaving before we talk about that, right?
right. Yeah. You're all here for the long haul. But let's talk about the goalkeepers and just, I guess, put on your individual managerial hats. It's your call to make. Glenn, I'll start with you. You're the manager. This is for tomorrow and Sunday. How are you handling your goalkeeper situation?
Leno plays against Gillingham, and as far as I'm concerned, Ramsey's the number 1 keeper now.
Gillingham? You mean
Gillingham? Whatever their name is, you little shit.
You mean Wimbledon?
It's really not that hard. Really?
You mean
Wimbledon? Whatever. You guys.
He's going to be on ESPN. You know what, Ryan? He's going to find Gillingham on ESPN Plus tomorrow. He's like, oh, here we go.
Wait. What? I don't give a shit. Whoever they're playing tomorrow, I want Leno to play. No, I don't know who they're playing. I thought for sure I knew who they were playing.
It's AFC Wimbledon.
All right. Well, I want Leno in. Ramsdale has taken the number 1 spot from Leno, just the way that Lakanga.
Jesus, he's everywhere.
Has taken away the job from Xhaka.
Okay. So then Ramsdale starts on Sunday.
Yes.
Okay. Rowan.
For me, Ramsdale starts on Sunday. He's won the last 2 games. These are the first 2 wins of the season in the league. This team should continue. I apply the same logic that I had last week when we spoke about the win before, which was Norwich. those guys have earned the right. Now you play them in the next game, and we've had a good team in there. The only change probably was Odegaard can move forward and Lokonga in midfield. But yeah, from a goalkeeper situation, you guys got to play Ramsdale.
Stan?
Well, for me, tomorrow against Runcorn, I would.
Dan, I swear to fuck. All right. I just looked it up. All right, so you guys weren't kidding me. It is Wimbledon, and then I remembered that I'm playing the shit out of FIFA 21 because FIFA 22 trial is coming out tomorrow, and I was playing Chillingham, so I mixed them up. All right, I mixed up reality and pretend lots of times.
Did you get Arsenal that relegated? They're playing in League One against Shillingham. Are you that bad at FIFA? Is now my next question.
Yeah. Hashtag Glenn out.
Right?
Get it fucking trending, man.
It's the FA Cup, you little fuckers. Now move on.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Sure,
I think,
that's what you tell everybody. FA.
I think tomorrow.
No, I don't play tomorrow's the FA Cup. It was the FA Cup in my FIFA.
Oh.
All right. Anyways,
Anyway, Stan, continue, please.
Leno tomorrow. I'll make it simple and sweet. Leno tomorrow. Ramsdale on. In the North London derby. I don't see a reason why we want to change what's going on in the league at the moment. Tomorrow at Wimbledon, there's a chance for Leno to remind the manager what it's all about. And as BX Gunner 81 says as well, it also keeps him visible to any possible suitors. He may
That's a.
Are we, BG, are you asking the Xhaka question later? Because two guys just danced. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Rowan, go ahead. I mean, it sounds or no, Rowan. I'm sorry, you already went. Ryan,
No, I already spoke about that, but there was a piece floating around, at least on the weekend, that Arteta had promised only 2 games off to Leno, and that Leno comes back in. Do you guys think there's any truth to that? And even if he did make that promise, given how Ramsdale has performed, do you think he should keep up that promise if he actually made it?
I've heard that story's not true, but also as well, how would we get to hear about these promises? Do you know what I mean? You're in an office, right, with Leno, and you say, right, this is what we're going to do, and the meeting's over. How do we then find that information out?
Well, Leno
goes straight out onto the phone and goes, right, put this. I mean, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
We get to know a lot of things. If he has made that, let's hypothetically assume that he has made that promise. In that case, should he keep his word, or should he just show the middle finger to Leno and be like, no.
It's such a difficult.
Who knows with Arteta? He's so terrible at managing players, it's ridiculous. Seriously, who knows? Who knows with Arteta? Okay, a normal manager would say, if he did say that, and I don't believe it either, Stan. If he did say that, it's like, well, he was going to only play 2 games, but he's doing better than you. You'll get a chance to earn your spot back. But who knows with Arteta?
Yeah. Ryan,
giving Xhaka a pat on the butt for the red card. What the F?
Really
Good job, buddy. Put us down a man. So who knows with Arteta?
Ryan and
what?
I just feel like right now I do feel like this should be the Glenn show. You are fired up, my friend.
Glenn, remember what you asked us in the backstage room?
Yeah.
You may have answered your own question, but we move on.
For those of you that don't know, I asked the guys before the show start, do I talk too much? And they all politely said no.
Yeah.
Does my bum look fat in this?
Do we get a redo on that, Glenn, by chance? Or okay. Ryan, what are you doing?
I mean, I think we all said the same thing. Leno tomorrow, Ramsdale on Sunday. See, I don't know. Rohan, you posed a very interesting question. Where if he did keep the promise, do you think he should keep it? I mean, I'm not one to keep promises in a business such as professional sports. But I don't know. I'm still on the Leno train. I think Ramsdale has shown a lot. I think he's proved himself. I think Ramsdale should definitely start Sunday, but I don't necessarily think, and I'm going to get a lot of crap for this, I don't think Leno really did that. I put it this way: I don't think Leno lost the job. I think Ramsdale won it. I think Ramsdale just superior. He's very vocal. He commands a box, and I said this on the post game show. I didn't realize how, I don't want to say bad, but how, I'll just say bad for sake of lack of a better word. I didn't realize how bad Leno's commanding of the box was and how little he spoke until I watched Ramsdale play for us. Which sucks because I do enjoy Leno. I do like him. I think he's a good player for us. But like I said, I think Ramsdale won the job, whereas I feel like a lot of people, a lot of fans would probably say Leno lost it. But I don't agree with that.
Well, it's an interesting.
Can I just say something about that? I just think that any manager that talks to a football player and says, "I'm going to put you not
the
next game, but I'm going to put you in 2 or 3 or 4 games time." I mean, what experienced manager would back themselves into a corner? Because if the person that's playing in that time has worldies, then what do? You just say, all you do is you say to a player, "I'm taking you out for a while." You don't tell them when they're coming back or give them an estimation in case things change, right? The player that comes in has worldies. You can't take him out then. So if he did do that, then it's just another example of his inexperience.
Harumph.
What was that?
I was thinking that, Harumph.
Was that a word?
Yes,
Oh,
it's from that West Blazing Saddles. Yeah, I agree.
You really are old. Sorry.
Oh, I see what you're. I see.
Bro, congratulations, you guessed it. I'm not gonna tell you which one, but one of those 3 is correct.
All right, you guys gonna let us in on what the hell you're talking about?
So the show earlier, we were talking about American soccer. I'm gonna say soccer because we're talking about American soccer players and who's my favorite. And everyone was guessing everybody in the sun, but no one could figure it out. Road got it, but I'm not gonna tell you which one because you said 3. I shouldn't have answered. I should have waited till you said 1. But anyways, keep going.
It's an interesting dynamic to me because on the one hand, all of the points for Leno are good points. Let me offer up a point or a thought process for Ramsdale to start tomorrow and Sunday. I think the job is Ramsdale's now, but could it be possible that you want Ramsdale to play tomorrow because you're going to change up the back 4 and you want Ramsdale and you want this back 4 to get used to playing with Ramsdale behind them, and all of a sudden, not through injury or whatever the case may be in the league, one of these guys gets thrown in there and they're not really used to Ramsdale's style of play because they haven't played with him before. Because I do think the back 4 gets changed. At least I think it should anyway. But I would agree with Arteta from the standpoint that he says he's going to play his. I'm not going to use the word best team or strongest team, but I'm going to ride the hot hand at goalkeeper, and I'm going to keep Aaron Ramsdale. I'm going to keep Aaron Ramsdale in there. I think he can play tomorrow, and I think he can play Sunday. I don't think there's a worry of fitness levels or anything like that. So I am the oddball here, and that's all right. I'll own it. I would start Ramsdale tomorrow, and I would start Ramsdale Sunday. I would start him in both games, and at this point, this is your team now. Down the road, come November, we're still in the League Cup, and we have another game that we're playing. Say, I don't know, Gillingham in the League Cup in November at some point. I would look there maybe to give Leno the game, but right now I would say no. You know what? I want this team to mesh. I need this team to start to gel and create some chemistry, and the only way that Ramsdale is going to do it with a new back 4 in front of him is to play with them.
okay, you laid out.
And
your
it's a little bit of devil's advocate. I understand that, but
all right, BG. Instead of arguing with your points, I want to ask you this:
Mhm.
Your Arsenal manager, you say Ramsdale is going to play against Wimbledon, and Leno comes up to you and says, "Hey, manager, I know you said I'm going to get a chance to earn my job back, but I don't want to sit here on the bench. Can I start?" What would you say to him?
Was it they say in FIFA? There are much bigger games ahead. You don't get the
yeah, they're
choices.
much bigger game. They're, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
What do I say to him?
Yeah. I'm just seeing if your mind can be changed if you were the actual manager.
No, I sit him down and just very diplomatically explain to him that, that we're building team chemistry here. We're building something, and I need this to continue with Aaron Ramsdale, but a different set of players.
Okay.
And that Bernd Leno will get his chance down the road. Now, here's the thing. Ryan says, and this is a good point. I'm curious to what you guys think. So Ryan says that he thinks Ramsdale won the job. Anybody disagree with that? Is there anyone who thinks that Bernd Leno lost it? Because I actually think he did lose it.
Yeah.
I disagree.
No, I don't think he lost it.
Leno was in bad form for a while now. I mean,
Any keeper would have got their ass kicked against Chelsea and Manchester City.
No, I'm talking about even last season. Even last season, there were plenty
We were
of
terrible. You can't blame Leno.
Hang on. No, it's not. It's not for me. This is what it is for me. It's not down to the City game and the Chelsea game. It's just Bernd Leno overall and who he is versus Aaron Ramsdale and who he is. And the one thing that I think we all agree on here is Ramsdale's command of the box is far superior to Bernd Leno. Aaron Ramsdale's communication with his defense in front of him is far superior to Bernd Leno. Take everything else out of the equation, because I think Bernd Leno's a better shot stopper than Ramsdale is. I think Ramsdale's distribution is better for what Arteta wants to do. That's what he wants. But I think I'm putting the premium on Aaron Ramsdale's command of his area. And that, to me, is what does it. And if Bernd Leno Bernd Leno doesn't do that, and that's what lost him the job.
Okay, fair enough.
It didn't make any sense. But
and what do you mean it doesn't make any sense?
You just said Ramsdale's superior.
He's better.
Whatever.
He's better.
So Leno lost the job because Ramsdale was better than him. That means
Ramsdale. Can Bernd Leno command the area the same way that Aaron Ramsdale does? Can he work on that? Is that something that he can?
But that does. But again, that means Ramsdale won the job.
Maybe if he learns the power of speech, then yeah.
and Stan, you made the point earlier. You said it's kind of one of those things like you're either born with it or you're not. And Leno that's just not the way he is. But if you're, back to Glenn's thing with me. Well, what is it then? Because Leno's next question would be, well, why? And that would be my answer. He's better at commanding the area than you.
Like this, right? We brought in Ramsdale at a similar price that we paid for Leno, so he ain't coming as a backup. And I just think the ball is now firmly in Leno's court. And it's like this: he either wants to stay and fight for his place, because as I say, Ramsdale has not been brought in to sit behind him. It's up to him now whether he wants to say and duke it out, or does he want to do a Martinez and fuck off and go somewhere else because he can't get guarantees.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than earn it, he's going to leave because he won't get a verbal guarantee, right?
Yeah.
I just think it's up to Leno. Ball's in Leno's court. Stay and fight, or just walk.
Yeah, this is definitely like a character tester for Leno if he's a team player and wants to fight for his job. The only thing I'll take issue with, and I'm not saying that you're wrong about how he handles the box versus Ramsdale, but I want a bigger sample size before I say that Ramsdale is that much better than Leno, because I do rate Leno.
Agreed.
And you are in agreement with why not in the chat as well, because he's been making the point that that Aaron Ramsdale's done this against arguably the two worst teams in the league, whereas Bernd Leno got a newly promoted. Brentford may as well have come out after doing a mountain of cocaine. That's how fired up they were for that game. So you got that, but then you got Chelsea, then you got City. That's Leno's that's Bernd Leno's body of work for this season. So on the same at the same time, well, let's look at the competition that Aaron Ramsdale has faced versus what Bernd Leno faced.
And also, to Lone Star Leonard's point, I completely agree with. That's also a big thing, the business side of things. Leno has not signed a new contract. So as far as Arsenal right now are concerned, they signed Ramsdale for 4 years, 5 years. That is a longer time than Leno's going to be here. So as far as they're concerned, okay, Leno hasn't really. I can't pledge his allegiance to Arsenal. He hasn't signed, so he could be out the door at the end of next season. He could be out in a free. He could be sitting on his contract. We could sell him in January or next summer. I don't know. But Ramsdale is fresh blood. We signed him. He has Premier League experience. Whether whoever it is, whatever we can argue. You can argue that we can, but I who cares? He has Premier League experience. He signed. He's like, okay, this is me. I'm here. 5 years. Let's go. Let's do this. And Leno's like, I don't know what I'm doing. And you can tell. In my opinion, I think Leno's attitude the first few games, you could tell something was off. You could just tell his attitude was a little different than it's been the last couple seasons. And I brought this up on another podcast where I think when we signed Leno, we brought him in. Hey, well, I don't want to say he was spun the William spiel or Willian spiel. What's up, Lolo? But I will say that I think that he was brought in. He was. I'm sure they alluded to this. He was brought in and was like, "Hey, we're gonna compete in Champions League. We're gonna do big things. We think you're the guy." And I think he could have been the guy, but things happened. We didn't do that. And now this summer, I don't think any of us saw this coming. I would like to hear otherwise, but none of us saw this coming in the fact that we're going to sign all these young players. We're fresh, hungry, ready to fight. They thought, it was going to be the academy. Well, it's not. We're bringing in Ben White. We're bringing in Lukongo. We're bringing in Tomiyasu. So if I'm Leno, and even to an extent Thomas Partey, I'm like, wait a minute. I was brought to this club. I was going to help them build up. We're going to Champions League. This looks like a little bit longer of a project than I anticipated. I don't know if I want to partake in this. And to be fair, too, back-to-back 8th places, no European football at all. I would be a little peeved, too. I would be like, you know what? I don't know if I'm going to – I don't know if this is going to be right for me. I don't know if I want to be in it for the long haul. When he might already have eyes at, maybe taking over Neuer's position at Bayern. I mean, so it's just – it's very complicated, I think, and I think it's a lot of business mixed in with just, I think Ramsdale came in hot, and I think he impressed Arteta in training, and he's impressed me. So I'm excited, and I'm gonna hopefully ride that wave to big things for us.
I think the only Lone Star here, I'll have to scroll back up to this comment here from Lone Star. Now, I don't necessarily agree with 18 months per se, but his distribution has always been poor.
He was player of the season too. He was almost player of the season 2 seasons. If it wasn't for Aubameyang single-handedly pretty much getting us an FA Cup, I think he would have been player of the season that season. And last season, if I can never pronounce his name, the cunt from Brighton didn't hurt him. He was gonna get he might have gotten player of the season that season.
That was 2 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. 2 seasons ago and last season.
Yeah, but
or toward
the end of last season,
that was the same season.
I think we just that's what I'm saying. Toward the end of last season, he just it just started to unravel for him a little bit, and we really started to see a lot of chinks in the armor. With at least I did anyway with Bernd Leno, and that's to me. And I don't know, Rowan, am I crazy here? But to me, that is what
exactly.
That's where he lost it, and Ramsdale didn't win it. If that makes it, he's been losing the job. It's just been a matter of the right person coming along and cementing the fact that he's lost his job.
Absolutely.
And that was Aaron Ramsdale.
People are talking about these 3 games that he's played, and I agree that those were difficult games. In fact, he prevented City from that game from becoming a cricket score, right? Like he did that with that game. Although,
same with Chelsea.
But people forget that there was also, West Ham last season where he, conceded in the near post. Even this season, he's conceded on the near post. There was Everton where he scored that own goal where he just dragged the ball in his own net. Things like that. There was time and time again there were decisions that were bad. There were near post goals that were conceded, and overall distribution, being bullied in the box. That doesn't give any of the central defenders any confidence, right? Our defensive unit didn't have any confidence because they didn't know what.
You don't think the defender should be helping him out in that position? I'm not trying to defend Leno, but I guess I am. I think
Can't have it both ways,
I know.
Ryan.
I guess I am defending him then. Shouldn't his team be helping him out? Like, I don't know. When I was brought up, when I was playing,
it's twofold.
I want to protect my goalie. I want to protect my keeper. He is a very important piece of the puzzle. He could use his hands.
But like
He
goalie
has an
doesn't
advantage.
need to be a princess, right? Like he needs to man up. That's what Leno wasn't doing. That's essentially the problem. That's right. And I like Leno. I think he's a great shot stopper. And till last season, I really rated him highly. I thought that he's better than David De Gea, because even he went through this bad patch, and now David De Gea seems to have turned it around. Leno will get his chance, maybe. Hopefully Ramsdale does so well that Leno doesn't need that chance, or doesn't get that chance. For the Arsenal, that's what we suppose. That's what we hope. But it's good to have two good keepers on the books till the time that we can have them. If he doesn't want to, anyways, there were so many murmurs of him not wanting to be here, then he can leave now.
Yeah, I agree.
The
one thing I will say, real quick, because it's going in the chat, Leno was actually third, and he became second. So it was the opposite, Gary. Granted, Ter Stegen got hurt, but Ter Stegen's been back, and Leno is still the number 2 for Germany. I'm sure that's gonna change now that he's not even the starter for Arsenal. But right now he is the number 2 for Germany.
I remember last season.
Glenn, hang on, Stan, go ahead.
Sure.
No, I was just going to say that I think that a lot of our fans have a bad memory when it comes to Bernd Leno, and
Yes.
like Ryan, I'm sticking up for him as well. There was that season when you could have just managed to slide a cigarette paper in between him and Aubameyang for a man of the match. As many points that Aubameyang salvaged for us, he was also responsible for saving points, I feel. And I think a team that's finished 8th in the last 2 seasons, and we're getting churlish about having Germany's number 2 keeper on our books.
Yeah.
And
I would just like to add to that real quick before. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you weren't done. Go ahead, Stan.
I was going to say he's not a terrible keeper, and for what we paid for him, I think it was one of our better deals. And personally, I would like to see him sign a contract and have some balls and fight for a place. However, if he's made his mind up that he doesn't want to be part of our project, then there's no point in picking someone if you believe that they're not part of the cause, that they're not going to implement everything you've been showing them because their mind's elsewhere. So, the balls really is in Leno's court, I feel.
And to be fair, I will be a devil's advocate because
Ryan, let Glenn go. Glenn wanted to jump in.
Mine's real quick, Ryan. Then you can go. I remember I was doing a season prediction show on another channel last year, and I was just reading up on some stuff, and I came across an article that rated the best Premier League keepers. And Leno was number 5 before last year started, the 5th best goalkeeper in the Premier League. He's not 38 years old, guys. He hasn't lost it. He's had a bad run. I can't really disagree with anything you said. With the mistakes like that near post goal, Rohan. I remember that this year, and I was a little angered with that. I was angered when Leno didn't. That guy that pushed him in the net, and Leno didn't even push back or argue with the official. I've had my problems with Leno this season. That's all. I said it would be short, and that was not short.
No, I wanted to just. I already forgot what I was going to say. I'm pulling a stand. I don't. It was something about. It was something about. It's like to me. I mean, I don't know. The keeper position it's a very tricky one. It's a very it's hard to really rate because you have, like Stan said, said cigarette paper for man of the match. And to be fair, it's when you have someone scoring goals, it's a little bit easier to defend them. And in the same respect, when you're not scoring goals and teams are constantly putting pressure on you, yeah, it's gonna happen. Like you're gonna make mistakes. So I don't think that we were doing what we got to do. We were playing really well, and all of a sudden we had a severe dip in form, back-to-back 8th place finishes. Obviously, I just feel like people just want to use the easy scapegoat. And I think one of them. I'm not saying he is the easiest, but I think he's one of them. Is your goalie, because obviously he's letting goals in because we're bad as a whole. As a team, we're bad, and I guess this. And then the last point I'll make is I think we're a bigger club, so this doesn't really. I don't think we would. I don't want to say entitled fan base, but whatever. So and it just so happens to be Ramsdale, because everyone talks shit about how the last 4 clubs, I think it was 4 or 3, last 3. The last 3 clubs Ramsdale was a part of, they all got relegated. Well, what they leave out.
Who were they? Do you know? Can you tell us who they were?
Bournemouth, Sheffield, and I can't remember who the one before.
Sheffield, Bournemouth, and it was like a league. I think they got promoted from championship to League One.
And they
was he bought from Bournemouth to Sheffield? Was he sold from Bournemouth to Sheffield? And was he Bournemouth's number 1 keeper and then went to Sheffield as their number 1?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, because they got rid of they had Dave Blankovic. No, didn't they have someone else? I don't know. This third club, it's a P, but it's not. It's not. You know what? He was on Wimbledon.
You guys,
the devil.
You guys really put that much weight on goalkeepers being relegated. I think
no. Glenn, you let me finish. So real quick, I'm almost done. So the fact everyone's like, he was relegated, like terrible, all 3 clubs. Well, what they leave out conveniently is 2 of those 3 teams, and I'm not even sure which 2 of the 3 teams, but I know it's 2 of the 3. I think it was Wimbledon and Bournemouth, or Wimbledon and Sheffield. He was their player of the season. So I mean, you take it for what it's worth, but everyone says, he's relegation fodder. He gets relegated. Well, he was their player of the season. And I think that's a little different in the fact that I think, smaller clubs, they see like, okay, it's not, you can't blame the keeper for your team getting relegated, for your team playing so poor. Because obviously it's a, you're a machine. And if you, I don't know, I just think that's a very interesting thing that I read. I think I read it, but yeah. Interesting.
Glenn, go ahead.
No, I thought
you had something you were trying to.
I did. No, I had something, but I was trying to reword it in my head. I just believe that if you just base it on goalkeepers that were relegated, that's silly. It's got to be the teams in front of them. I never rated. Was Chesney? Is that his name? The old Arsenal keeper. I never rated him that much. He went to a better defensive team, and all of a sudden he was a stud. So that's all I had to say.
I mean, there is something to be said as a goalie. And now, again, I was not a goalkeeper in football. I was a goalie in ice hockey. But there is something to be said about the defense in front of you. But at the end of the day, you still have to do your job. You can't just they fucked it up. That's why the ball's in the back of the net. It's got nothing to do with me. I'm just a guy back here that I got to guess which way the ball's going. That's not the way this works. So yes, there is something to be said there for that, but at the end of the day, you do have to do your job. But the relegation thing, that's a team effort. That's not on.
No, I know. I brought that up because people that were slating.
No, I know what
Ramsdale.
Right.
That was the flavor of the month stat that everyone used. Oh, he's been relegated with every team he's been with. Are we getting relegated?
It's the mark of those teams weren't relegated solely because of
I know
Rams.
that.
I know you.
If he was player of the season, obviously it wasn't on 2 of the teams.
All right, just to the only reason I brought that up, Ryan, and I very rarely use American sports references, but I hate when quarterbacks' careers are rated on whether they won a Super Bowl, like Dan Marino.
Eli Manning.
So I thought that's all I'm saying. I don't like in a team. Oh my God, that's the biggest middle finger I ever got.
I think he's reading my mind because when you said that, you don't often make American sports references, I was thinking, fucking hell, Tanner does. He'll make up for it.
No. That finger was for Ryan from bringing
Just so
up
you know,
Eli
Tanner,
Manning.
as well.
I
I rang
think
my
we're on the
bookie
same page
before.
here
I
about
rang
it.
my bookie before the show, and I put on my annual cheeky that Tom Brady will be mentioned.
I'm sorry. I couldn't think of any other analogy, Stan. I'm sorry.
And
Mike,
Tanner, you should not
Mikey
be
Hers
the
isn't even
fingers.
here right now. He's not even here right now to get to
Tanner,
receive
you
my
should-
Tom Brady reference.
You should be happy that I said that. I said that not against you. I think Eli Manning is one of the worst.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
you're saying that is the opposite.
Yeah,
Come
he's terrible.
on.
He's horrible.
Are you guys trying to lose every UK viewer right now? Come on.
He is this is the last thing I'm going to say, and we can move on. He is, if he does make the whole thing, which God, it probably because of his father and his brother, and because he beat the 16-0 Patriots. But I guess he won again when they were 8-8,
18-0.
What? Okay,
They
fair,
were
fair.
18-0 when he
I'll
beat
give you that.
I will
But
never,
if he somehow makes the Hall of Fame, again, it's gonna be because of that and because of his family. He is by far the worst quarterback to be in the Hall of Fame, and to me, take it for what it's worth. But
Dan
anyway,
has left the
I'm done.
building.
Yeah,
Yeah, it stays like I'm done with it. If American
all right. So
football
what's next?
pays
That's all I wanted to say because Eli Manning sucks.
off. I'm off the rails now. I don't know where to go after
And to
Eli
be
Manning.
fair, and
Jaka.
the one thing I will say was I got a dart in the foot New Year's Eve because I said Eli Manning sucked.
Oh my
I
God.
was a little more descriptive about it, but so I've lost blood for that man. So fuck Eli Manning.
I will never ever bring up American sports on this show again. BG, can
I don't
you
want to talk about Jaka. I don't
can
want
you
to
switch it to Jaka?
No, I don't want to.
And if Jaka starts against Spurs, my answer no. I gave you my answer like 3 times already. No, I'm sorry. Is that
Then we know.
Talking
Then we know.
about
We're talking
American
about Leno.
sports. Talking about American sports with my fucking foot fungus, so that really is annoying me at the minute.
And this is the kind of quality entertainment, ladies and gentlemen, that you have not only come to expect, but you have come to crave from the same old Arsenal USA.
God.
Foot fungus, American sports references.
Dan, you
and I
made
I was
us
just-
smart.
going to say you haven't lived until you walked in my shoes, but at the minute you wouldn't.
You
want
don't.
to do it.
Nobody wants to walk in your shoes. Man.
All because I made one quarterback reference. Can you please, Shaka, something?
Well, hang on. I've got it.
Glenn,
I've got it. We're gonna move this on, Glenn. All right, just relax. One thing I want to say is that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have won their last 9 games in a row, scoring 30 points or more in all 9 of those games, and it is the first time it's been done in NFL history. Who's their quarterback? Who's their quarterback? Say it with your chest. Say it
Jameis
for those in
Winston.
the back. It's Thomas Edward Patrick Brady.
Oh,
Anyway.
I just won some money. Congrats.
His mate, yeah.
So Glenn apparently has a stiffy for.
What?
I'm trying to. Ryan, help me out here. Are there any like Z words, since that's how you pronounce the XH, like Z like
words?
for
Shaka.
like
Shaka.
for, well, no, I guess we don't do boner for Basuma. That's what I was thinking. Anything that like with a Z for that for Jaka, because I think that's what Glenn has right now. I mean, he's dying to talk. Glenn, what are you drinking?
Just a Red Bull coconut berry piss.
Oh, okay.
Jesus Christ, you're a fucking woman.
I deserve that after your beer jokes. I deserve that.
Well done, Gary. Well done. Tonight's show is brought to you by Foot Fungus, Football, US, References, and Glorious IPA. Foot Fungus Cure?
Hey, it might be. I don't have foot fungus.
Only your podiatrist knows for sure.
Oh,
That's
good
why you
God.
don't have foot fungus.
You guys, you just spiral out of control. I say one thing about quarterbacks, and you spiral out of control.
Did you really think that you were going to bring up a quarterback and not have the best quarterback to ever play the game mentioned?
All right,
Come on, Glenn. You know better.
When we talk about Jaka,
Yeah, so Glenn really wants to talk about Granit Xhaka. So, Glenn, I'm going to give you the floor to talk about
What? No,
Granit
I don't.
Xhaka.
Zing for Xhaka.
you guys know I hate wasting time. I've said how I feel about it. Ramsdale took the job from Leno. Lukonga took the job from Xhaka. No, Xhaka does not start versus Spurs.
Can I play devil's advocate on this Xhaka thing, though? Because everybody, you all know that he's not he's not on my fucking. He's not on top of my Christmas card list at all.
Yeah.
Right? Do you know what I mean?
Wait. Am I on top? Am I on the Christmas?
Oh,
card
you
list?
gues are on my Christmas
Okay.
card list.
All
Of
right.
course you are. Do you know what
All
I
right.
mean? But, you know,
We're good.
Daka's
We're
not,
good.
and neither is Mesut Ozil. But that's another podcast. Right? But is there, this game against Tottenham between us and them has a lot of history. We've got a lot of new faces that have come into this team. A lot of faces that probably, might not be aware of the history. So is there a shout to say that for a match like this, bringing in Granit Xhaka, he brings a little bit of that with him. He brings some experience with him, because if anyone owes us a North London derby at the minute in our midfield, it's Thomas Partey, because he basically walked off of the last one. So he really needs to show that he understands. And I'm worried that I'm not worried, but you know what I'm saying. We've got a lot of new faces, and are they aware of what this game means? And is there a shout for Granit Xhaka coming in because of that?
All I can tell you is every time I bring up, you think that Arteta will sit Xhaka against Spurs, and everybody laughs at me, just the way you all laughed at me when I brought it up the first time. I think the bigger shock will be if he doesn't start Xhaka. That's all.
Yeah.
If it's only for motivation, then he can be a cheerleader on the sidelines. Right? You need to play. But I know what Arteta is like, and but he's trying to turn a corner. And the reason why I'm not mentioning Arteta out or
I was just gonna bring this
any
up.
of that stuff.
Andy's the ex-gunner.
The reason why I'm not mentioning any of that is because there's no point in mentioning it, because he's not going anywhere. But he makes things very, very difficult if he continues to play Xhaka in his first game back against Spurs. I know that he'll have to rotate in midfield. I know that sometimes he'll have to play Xhaka, but this team is winning, and you got to continue that winning team. You can't just bring a guy in who cost us. No, he didn't cost us the game. We would have lost that game anyway. But he really abandoned the troops. He chose the easy way out.
He quit. He quit on the team.
He quit on the team. Yeah, and for that he needs to be reprimanded. And that's not just a 3-game ban. That's him playing with the kids. He's not eligible tomorrow. Otherwise, I would have played him tomorrow. And played him against, whatever the next lower league, Gillingham. Whenever we play them, he's going to play.
Cool.
Yeah.
Are you guys all saying Gillingham on purpose every time you reference the lower league?
No, it's just
it's not.
no, it's just the first team that keeps popping into our heads.
You're smoking too much weed. You're getting paranoid.
Does anyone here think that he won't start? Let's get it out of the way. Does anyone think
on Sunday?
He won't start against Spurs?
Yes.
No, I believe he's going to start, but I would not start him. And Stan, you played devil's advocate, but you didn't say if you would start him.
No, I wouldn't start him, but I think he will.
I'm nervous. So the one thing I learned
because Arteta, if he has any brains, he will not do it. But Arteta is arrogant as hell, and he's going to double down on it and be like, see, this is why I patted him. That sort of stuff. No.
Maybe the argument will be that he plays El Neni and Sambi Lokonga tomorrow because, Partey will probably need need some more rest or whatever. And then the excuse is, well, Sambi played on Wednesday. Partey didn't play, so I'm playing Partey and Xhaka.
Odegaard played in midfield last game, so let him play in midfield.
But tomorrow, do you think he'll play Partey tomorrow? I don't.
No, I'd like to see Maitland-Niles tomorrow. I don't want Partey in against a lower league club that's going to come in with their legs flying, trying to for the big upset. No, we can beat them with Maitland-Niles. I want to see Maitland-Niles in midfield.
Yep, I agree. And the one thing I found out the other day, which you guys probably know this, you're gonna say, "Oh, Doron, you didn't know that." I didn't know that, but so I can't pronounce his name. The center back from Leeds that got a red card for injuring Harvey Elliott. What the fuck's his name? Strucic? Whatever. So he got a red card. He's spending 3 games. He's playing with the academy. He is on the roster. He's in the 11. He's playing for the U23s. I didn't know that. So fuck. Why are we playing Jock with the U23s while he's suspended? I really do think, and I hate to say this, I think he's gonna come right back into the team.
And
Yeah.
it's just all that hard work. And it sucks because I feel, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'm looking at the wrong side of Twitter. I do feel that Twitter, yes, we're winning. I get it. But I just feel like since Xhaka's suspension, I feel like there's been no Arteta in, no Arteta out talk. It's just been like, you could definitely be critical of the 2 wins. It was Norwich and Burnley, and there's only 1-0. I get it. And you can be positive. Like, I totally get that. But I noticed I haven't really seen a lot of Arteta's still not right for the job. Well, this will prove this secures Arteta's job. I haven't seen any Arteta talk, which is very interesting. But if he plays Xhaka on Sunday, it's going to be back to the Arteta talk. But in the same,
Only
in
if
the
Arsenal
same,
lose.
well,
Only
yeah,
if they lose.
exactly. And here's the funny thing too. Last time we played a North London derby, we benched Aubameyang, and everyone was freaking out. What are you doing? You came late. That's why you're gonna bench him, and we ended up winning. Or we got points. I think we won. Didn't? No,
we won 2-1.
We won.
We won 2-1.
So I don't know. Maybe we play Jacques and we get points.
And on that point of Aubameyang and North London derbies, rumor is that he's going to leave his house the night before just to make sure he actually beats the fucking Trafford.
Let's hope.
But do you not? This is definitely. I think Granit Xhaka could be the hill that Mikel Arteta dies on.
Mm-hmm.
Because
which is insane to me. But yeah, I guess. I mean,
I agree with that.
It's just crazy because our midfield.
Aren't the 4 of us in the minority here? The 5 of us, sorry, are in the minority here because none of us are saying that we want him to start. However, if I go back to when there was talk about him going to Roma, it seemed like 80% of the fan base wanted him to stay. So everybody should be happy that he's here. Everybody should be happy that he's walking back in to the side.
I think they were happy. I think they were happy he was staying because Roma lowballed us and didn't give us the money we wanted.
No, and
I was seeing more than that. I was seeing him getting like bigged up.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I did see a lot of people. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
I think
we're in the minority then, right? Us 5 are in the minority.
Yeah.
Rowan, go ahead.
It's because it's not like I never want Xhaka to play. Xhaka should play at some points of the season. He does bring something to the team that we don't generally have in this team. But right now is not the right time to get him into the team. Right now, the team is winning. Right now, he has done something to let the team down. He needs to sit a few games out. It's a long season. We play like 45, 50 games now without Europe, right? And in those games, we're going to need him. And he needs to be a squad player. That's what I said even last season and the season before that. He doesn't need to be a starter in our team. And a squad player means that he's going to play at some point. Maybe he comes on at the 70th minute. Maybe he plays the next game. Maybe he plays the game after that. Something like that. So I'm not saying that this is not my judgment on Xhaka playing ever for Arsenal, but I don't think he should play on Sunday.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the comment, right?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I don't know. I mean, personally, yeah, I agree. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something, or I just think our midfield hasn't looked this good since. I'm probably going on a limb going this far back since probably Santi Cazorla. Like our midfield is just, it's got pace, it's physical, it's willing to win the ball. Like I'll just take AMN for example. I don't think he played his best game against Norwich when he started for us, but he brings something that no midfield that we have. Well, Partey does, but he's willing to fight for the ball, win the ball, out physical you, out muscle you, and he does have some speed on him, and he's willing to carry the ball. He's willing to move the ball into central areas, bring defenders to him, and open up other areas. Now, his passing is not there yet. I'll say that. And I did say last week that he tried his damnedest to bring Aubameyang into the game, and he couldn't do it. His passing isn't there yet. Then you have someone like Sammy Lokonga, who, in my opinion, is very similar to Maitland-Niles. I think he's got his passing down. I think the thing with Sammy Lokonga is I think he's just got to get used to the Premier League a little bit, get used to the teams we play, the pitches we go on. But I don't know. I think our midfield's just looked more physical than it's ever have. More, robust could be a word. I think they said robust on Arsenal Vision, but I don't know. I think it's just got.
I don't think it's perfect. I don't think it's all around amazing, but it's got such promise, and it's got things that we could. And I think the faults are something that we can easily work on. I think for saying Lukonga, it's just time. AMN, I think just consistent playing time. You know, even I don't, and to be fair, as much as I love AMN, I don't think AMN is a 90-minute midfielder. I think he's someone that will come on the 60
squad
minutes.
player.
I mean, he could prove otherwise because we really haven't seen him too much. The sample size isn't that big, but I do think he's someone that comes on in the 60th minute. Like when he came on against Burnley, he was the best player on the field. He came on lively, running on the field, gathering, intercepting the ball, being calm, cool, and collected, moving the ball forward, facilitating when he has to. Like him and Lukonga were the engine of that team. He, to me, I wasn't, and I said this, I think I said this to you, Tanner, in the aftermath post game. I wasn't afraid. I wasn't worried that they were going to do anything. When that penalty happened, I was like, oh, this is the same old Arsenal again. But when VAR helped us out, like the first time in ever, I wasn't worried. And then when AMN and Lukonga came out, which I think was before the penalty, I don't know. They came on. They're like, listen, guys, we got this. Like defense, you did a really good job. Appreciate you. We're gonna take it from here. And they were just an engine. They were like an extra engine, almost like the NOS in like a street racing car. I don't know, but it just carried us over the edge. And I just think that's something that we've never, as a midfield, we've never had. And I think we could use it in certain games even to start with. And maybe not play AMN the full 90, but you take them off for like for right now, it's all we have for like an El Neni. But, and I'm someone that probably rates El Neni a little higher than most people. But El Neni can't do what they did. Like because think about it. If AMN wasn't here, or if AMN was doing something else, we probably would have bought on El Neni. And as much as I love his pressing, I love his enthusiasm, he wasn't going to carry the ball forward like AMN does. He wasn't going to, El Neni would have probably, he intercepts the ball. Well, he would intercept the ball and he would have passed it sideways, backwards, maybe forward. But I don't know. I'm just really excited for this midfield for what it could be. And I don't think it's complete yet. I think we do need another signing, but so it just doesn't make sense that Arteta is going to bring Xhaka in like that. But I mean, crazier things have happened.
I'm going to give you the best case, worst case scenario.
First, tell us who you would start, unless that's at the end of this.
In midfield on Sunday. In midfield on Sunday.
Yeah. Am I giving you guys an echo? Because I'm hearing my voice after I talk. No, okay.
You're good. You're good on my end.
Would you start Xhaka and then tell us your point that you were going to? Okay.
No, absolutely not.
How dare you, Glenn?
So the best case, worst case is, so the worst case, we'll start there because chronologically this is how it would fit. So the worst case is Granit Xhaka starts on Sunday, but then plays, and I'm going to give you the caveat that he plays all 90 minutes. The best case scenario then comes about that we win. So hypothetically speaking, that happens. Where is your mindset going to be? Stan, I'll start with you. Where's your mindset going to be if Xhaka plays and you're right off the bat, you're doom and gloom, your head is down because he's in the starting lineup, and then we win? Where are you at? I mean, that you literally went from down here to up here.
Well, it's an NLD, isn't it? You know what I mean. So I'm going to be in a really good mood if we win, and then once you come down from that, then you can look at the game and you can look how people did, and see if Granit Xhaka made a contribution to the game. But if you remember, we spoke about this before. Edu, when he said in his interview, he said that Sambi Lokonga, he said he's the next man. That's what he said. He's the next man. If Partey or Xhaka are injured, can't play, rotation or what have you, he's the one that comes in. However, that's not the case, because in the last game, Partey started, Xhaka was out, but he didn't start Sambi Lokonga.
Well,
so
I think we went a different formation, though. To be fair,
I know, but you can't believe what they tell us. That's what Edu said. That's why he was bought. He said that, So who knows? What I'm trying to say is that they pay lip service, but who knows? But one thing you can definitely lay your hat on, and I think we've all agreed that Xhaka's going to start on Sunday. So Sambi Lokonga is going to probably play tomorrow against Gillingham. So,
all right, it's not Gillingham. Now you're teasing me.
I know.
Wimbledon. Well, all right, listen. Okay, I, like everybody else that I've asked this question, believes that Xhaka is going to start against Spurs. So when he does start against Spurs before the game, I'm going to have a little private moan to myself, and then I'm going to say we better win this game, or Arteta's going to get his ass kicked for starting Xhaka. And whoever said that, was it you, Rohan? He's putting all his apples in one cart, or whatever analogy. It's going to be the death of him, Xhaka.
Yeah. I mean, at least, why would he want to do that just strategically? First of all, with his team, he will show the non-negotiables are that whatever you do, as long as your name is Xhaka, you're going to play. That's what the precedent that he's setting. Plus, to the fans, what is he saying? That, I don't care about, he shouldn't really care about what we think, because we are not paid, 4 or 5 million a year to make those decisions. But he's just making the job more difficult for himself. He doesn't understand, with fans at least, how much of thin ice he's walking on. And we are trying to back him. I'm trying to back him. So at least the least that he can do is be logical. Not be illogical like playing Xhaka, not be illogical like playing one holding midfielder against Manchester City, not be illogical like taking out Ramsdale and putting in Leno just because he's paid some obscure promise. These are things that will prove again and again that he's not the right man for the job. And I don't want to do that. I want him to win, and I want to support the team. I've had enough of, our us being terrible. There's nothing more than us being a dominant force that I would want. And playing Xhaka is just the wrong move in every aspect.
Yeah, every time I try to convince myself that maybe he won't start Xhaka, I think of him patting Xhaka on the butt after he got that red card. That's not what you're supposed to do. You gotta be, hey, what the fuck did you just do? What are you thinking? Not
today, Junior.
Get out of my
It sounded like Porky Pig there for a second.
I don't know what just happened. I don't know what just happened.
I saw Glenn grab the camera and I immediately.
I was trying to say.
I know.
And you say, "What are you doing? What are you doing?"
Scolded
Not
like a
not a pat on the butt. That's what I'm saying. How is that so hard to understand?
I take it you're not an ass guy, Glenn.
But at the same time, I am now going to play devil's advocate with this particular situation.
I have a point after you,
when we look at, I am not going to argue whether it was a red card or not. I'm not going to argue
with
that
2
point.
feet.
Hang on,
because it was.
But look, Glenn, here's the thing with this. All right, this is the point that I'm going to make. You could come out with a machete and gut someone. And depending on who you play for, you're not even going to get a stern talking to, let alone a red card and a 3-game suspension. So the point is this. Here's Granit Xhaka, who goes in, studs up with 2 feet. Leaves his feet, goes in, studs up, right? Red card. Problem is, it's not consistent throughout the league, right? I mean, even that weekend we saw
two wrongs will not make a right.
No, right.
So
But
just because somebody else did not get a red card doesn't mean he shouldn't have got a red card.
I'm not. That's not what I'm advocating. That's not.
I know. I don't know. I want to see where you're going with this, Tanner, because now you're not.
Glenn's point of patting Xhaka on the rear end, saying like, hey, all right, next time, whatever. I get the sentiment behind it, but you're the manager, so you did this to me. We bitch about his man management. Are we really advocating now that he frees Granit Xhaka out because of that and say, well, I'm not going to call it out. No, get the fuck out of here. Go. Sit back there like you're a petulant child.
You just literally do not do anything. If you want to pat him on the ass so bad, do it at halftime. when you go in the locker room,
All
he's
right,
probably hanging
so
out there like,
all right,
yeah,
I
that
know
happened.
that I'm the only one here that watches American sports, and I know that everybody thinks that football is the only sport that fucking exists in the world, but it's not. It's not. The other
Sure.
sports are actually played, and
Like Monopoly.
yeah,
I used to
yes,
fucking
exactly.
play Monopoly in a league.
Um,
Go there.
I mean, this happens in other sports. This isn't just an Arteta and Xhaka thing. So this is a coach thing. Okay, I have seen far worse things happen in sports, and a dude come off the ice, come off the field after committing an egregious act against another player, getting kicked out of the game, and his coach gives him a pat on the ass.
But does it make that okay though?
I'm not saying it makes it. No.
Okay,
I'm not saying that it makes
I'm
it
just
okay.
asking. I was just asking.
But don't sit there and make this out to be like this is an isolated incident in the world of professional sports. It's not. This is the norm.
I don't think he is, but it's still not
This
right.
is the norm. But what
I
you're
don't
saying
agree.
is that
I don't agree
every
with that
coach
either.
that does
I don't think
it,
it's the norm. I don't think
it's 110% the norm.
Don't agree.
Doesn't
Right.
it feel like it's a teacher's pet thing? Do you know what teacher's pet means?
I agree with that 100%. I agree with that.
Does that translate to UK teacher's pet? You know, someone that sucks up to the teacher and what do you call that in the UK? Is it teacher's pet?
Yeah.
Is that a portrait of Stan, or is he there?
Yeah.
Oh, he's there. Okay.
Glenn, if you would stop talking and let him answer your question.
Talking so much, Glenn.
Jesus, man.
Oh, you're such a dick, Ryan.
I really think we should have had that backstage conversation after this show.
All right, I was good for an hour.
Well,
my only thing is I just and enough said on this, because to me the pat on the ass is like, really? And Glenn, I do agree with you. I am playing devil's advocate. I do agree with you, but
okay,
it is like, to me that's like, okay, are we really going to focus on this?
Yeah,
Like, is this really a thing here where we're going to talk about the way?
I think it's a big deal because he's on a
it's not a big deal because to me every
Why
coach
is it not a big deal?
every
It's a
coach
huge
does
deal.
this with every player in every sport.
But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Mikel Arteta, who is on thin ice at the time, and we're talking about Xhaka, who is again on thin ice, who signed a contract extension I think they did it on Facebook, but other than that, they didn't make it public. Xhaka had to go to Instagram and made his extension public. They didn't tweet about it. They didn't put it on Instagram. I think they put it on Facebook. So I'll give them that. So they know Xhaka is on a screen. They know Xhaka is not the supporters' most favorite player. So yeah, I do want to move on. I hate talking about Xhaka this long. I'm sorry, Gary. But yeah, I think it's a big deal. But again, and I'll play devil's advocate. And I'm done talking about that. But I'm going to play devil's advocate about starting him on Sunday. Every time he's came back, and yes, every time multiple, because he's gotten multiple red cards for us in the Premier League. Every time he's came back from a red card, he's actually performed pretty well. When he got the red card against Burnley, he came back and probably played his best football for us. So I mean, maybe Arteta's looking at that. I don't know. Maybe again, I said this on Twitter. I think Xhaka likes feet. I think Arteta said something. I think
you hear that, Stan?
Yeah, you should show him the fungus. No, I think Xhaka gave Arteta a nice foot rub. I think he's out of the doghouse. I think Xhaka apologized, not to the fans, which he doesn't know a shit, because we're just going to talk shit about him. Fine, whatever. I don't really care. Talk about your fun COVID-filled adventure in Switzerland. But, he's going to say what he has to say to start on Sunday to Arteta. And I think Arteta sees him as, like, I don't want to say Batman and Robin, but maybe Alfred to Batman. I don't know. Like, I just think Arteta is just so infatuated with him as a player and what he brings, because he does do something for us. It's something that I think we could persist with if we want to be even a Europa League club. No. I think, Lukonga and AMN, obviously Partey, but Lukonga and AMN, I think, do more for us as midfielders. But yeah, I who knows? We can bring him back. We get 3 points, and he could be a vital part in that. And I guess to answer your question before, if I see Xhaka in the starting 11, I'm probably going to say, I'm literally just for an hour until the game starts, just go fuck. And then once the ball kicks off, once we're done coming off, when we're taking that knee, I'm just going to be like, all right, game time. Forget it. Out of sight, out of mind. Let's go. Let's focus on the game now. Let's focus on the other 10 players that are on the field for Arsenal. And even and if he's on the field, I'm going to support him. I don't want him. This is one of the biggest games of the year for us. I don't want him to fuck up. I really, as much as, I mean, I don't know, maybe Tony has a different opinion, but I really don't want him to prove me right. I don't want him to get sent off again. I don't want him to have a bad game. I want him to, like he did last season after the Burnley red card. I want him to come and compete with Lokonga, compete with AMN. But it's tough because he's done this so many times before, and he's alienated the fan base, and he's alienated so many people, probably besides Arteta. And it's just we finished the best we finished with him is 5th, and I know it's not him, but that's just it is what it is, and that's what his first year with us.
So Stan,
yeah,
knowing that we have Granit Xhaka available for Sunday, he's going to get a shirt. Like he's going to be named in the matchday squad. So I think if you're thinking he's not even getting that,
especially if Elneny's not fit, Elneny might not be fit in time. So no matter what.
So, but Stan, knowing that Xhaka is going to be fit for Sunday, who are you starting tomorrow?
Very fair.
Who are you starting tomorrow? And we're assuming that you are not starting Granit Xhaka on Sunday. So who are you starting tomorrow?
Well, we're short. I was thinking about what I would like to do in tomorrow's game, and I would basically
Chambers.
I would completely rotate the team if it was me. Everyone, the goalkeeper, right back, centre backs, left back, everybody. But when I was trying to do it in my head earlier, I ran out of players when I got into sort of like the second half of our midfield going into the attack. You know, it would mean like fielding Balogun straight off the bat, stuff like that. If we're going to do a complete overhaul, but did you say that Elneny's injured?
Yeah,
he's coming back from a bad hammy.
So, I mean, Sambi Lokonga, he'll be playing. I think it's obvious now because he's say Elneny's injured. But who's he going to put in there with him? Is he going to risk putting Partey in? Partey is finding difficulty seeing 90 minutes out. And surely, with an eye on what's going on in the league, you're thinking, well, that's got to be the preference.
Well, I would have Maitland-Niles next to him. I agree with you. Lokonga, Maitland-Niles.
Maitland-Niles.
I think you have to. But...
And then what? ESR as the third one? In the more kind of attacking.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, Tamayasu, is that the kid's name? He can play. We can have a couple starters in there. Like, is it the kid's name Tamayasu?
Yeah.
I would change everyone just because I think that other players need to get minutes.
Yeah, there are a lot of players on the bench that need to get minutes. Yeah.
I agree.
Rotated. I agree.
I don't think he's gonna. I
agree. For example, starting up front because Lacazette's had not a lot of minutes there. Martinelli, I would bring in for Saka. It's that right hand side where then it gets a little bit thin, right? You know, he's gonna switch in for Pepe.
Balogun, he's played right wing for us.
Yeah,
I don't want. He's not. Again, he's not gonna. But that's probably what I would lean.
And then you've got a bench which will probably have to have some of those what we would term as the first 11s in there to make up the numbers, and just hope that they don't have to get as too many minutes. But you think about it, right? We're not even in the European competition. It's quite a small squad when you look at it. Just to rotate it one time over, to give it a one turnover in this next game, it's quite difficult for us to do that. Have we brought back Aziz from loan?
No.
Okay. And Patino, is he in the first? Is he registered as a first squad player?
I don't think he is.
Chris Wheatley. He was there. Wheatley or Watts. One of them tweeted that expect Patino to be on the bench. So if he's not registered, I feel like they would know. They would know, and they'd be like, he's not going to play.
Well, if they say expect him to be on the bench, or whatever,
expect him to get a shirt.
He's got to be right. Yeah, you got to be registered to get the shirt. So
I'm going to find a tweet.
You know, as excited as I am about winning our first 2 games back from the break, I'm worried that Lukonga's going to have to play tomorrow, and that will be a perfect excuse for Arteta to say that's why he's starting Xhaka on
Yeah.
Sunday.
Exactly.
That it's just killing me
I don't
because
understand
I see it like it already happened. I feel like it's that Dead
But
Zone
that's
movie.
such a bullshit.
You can see Arteta rubbing his hand
You're
up, Mr. Burns going, excellent.
but
It's worked out.
that's such a bullshit excuse because we
Yeah.
till 5 years ago we used to play in the Champions League, and people forget that we were playing, Saturday, Wednesday, Sunday, or whatever, uh, and we were playing our first team mostly 3 games a week for the season. That's what we were doing, and now we can't even play. Like, what are we are this is the 7th game of the season, right? We played 5 Premier League games, and we played 1 League Cup game. This is 7th game of the season, and we're already talking about the fact that if Lokonga plays tomorrow, then he can't play on Sunday. He's a 22-year-old guy. Like, he should be able to play 2 successive games, 3 successive. He's like, look at Pedri. He's playing 70 games in a season. So, I don't think that if he gives that excuse will just be an excuse.
Ditto.
Want anything more than that? I'm going to see right through it. So,
Ditto.
like I said, it's not like Xhaka is out forever, but this is the wrong time to get him in. And Arteta can think politically also. If we lose with the team that the people want, which has been doing well as well because we've been winning matches, then at least he doesn't have to fight everyone on that one front, right? That's the main issue. But moving on from Xhaka and whether he's playing, what had me excited for the Burnley game is that nobody tell me that Partey didn't play a defensive midfield role, because he was protecting that back four. Sometimes he was forming a part of the back five, and he was doing his bit. So maybe he is the defensive midfielder for this team, and then you have an Odegaard who is the more box to box attacking midfielder. That's just tactically it was good to see how Partey was playing because of his height and his pace, etc. And then he has these decisive balls, right? He plays the fast ball on the ground, and that sets the tempo. That's what got us the goal against Norwich, and that sets the tempo for the next pass. If you're passing lethargically, then the next guy also passes slowly. The next guy also, everything is pedestrian. But if you zip it in, then the next guy also is hurried up, and the next guy, gets the ball quicker. So, Partey is bringing that, and I'm liking it. It seems like Partey now. Maybe we get to see the real superstar that we signed from Atletico last year.
But see, I think if he plays in that role, Rowan, which I think we desperately need someone in that role, I just don't think it's Thomas Partey. And this is where all the Basuma stuff. It eventually got to a point where I kind of just don't understand it, because he plays a very similar role to Thomas Partey, maybe a hair more defensively. And I know Ryan doesn't agree with this, but I feel like playing Partey in that role and asking him to do that, I feel like is limiting his star power, limiting all that he can really do.
Yeah.
Look, Arteta has a long way to go before I get back away from Arteta out. And he has a chance until October. Stan brought out the calendar. We got a very favorable schedule. We can do some stuff right now. And you are a tough sell, BG. Partey finally finds a little form, but you still say you don't like him. So I don't know.
No. I didn't say I didn't like him. I did not say I didn't like him.
Oh, okay. I apologize.
I think that Thomas Partey is more of the he's more of the box to box midfielder.
Okay.
He's more of a transition midfielder I think if you play him in a solely defensive role, I think that limits what he brings
Okay,
to the
I
table.
missed that part.
Yeah,
Apologies,
yeah,
my
no,
friend.
that's
Apologies.
not on him at all. I think that's
Apologies.
on Arteta.
Goals, right? He's
I
not
agree
doing
with that. I
What's
agree
that,
with
Rowan?
that.
As a box to box, he also needs to score goals, right? He has not been doing that.
Like,
He
he's
didn't
never
do that last
never done
season.
it.
All of his shots were
Yep.
They all landed. They all landed on the moon, didn't
Yeah.
All his shots last year were cartoonish. That's what
Yeah.
they were.
Exactly. So he might as well be a defensive midfielder, right?
I hear you, and I and I hate to say it, I think that's what Arteta's doing, and it's kind of like, well, if this is what you're doing with him, well, then why not just let Messi be like a number 10? Like, that would be bringing in Leo Messi and just being like, okay, well, we're gonna pigeonhole you in right here, and this is what you do. You know what I mean? Like, and that's like he's better than that. He's more than that. That's just. This is going to go down the same road of not bringing in the defensive midfielder.
I agree with you, Tanner. I think it's not that he can't do that job there, but I think
he could do it. I absolutely think
I
he can
agree
do
with you that, but I think that if he's going to be used in that way, it's going to negate other parts of his skill set, which I think which we could really utilize.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Just listening to what the players themselves say. You listen to what managers say about players. You listen to what the players say about themselves. Thomas Partey himself says that he prefers to play more of an 8 than he does as a 6.
Right, right.
And then you listen to Sambi Lokonga, and Sambi Lokonga is telling us he prefers to play more as a 6 than an 8. So I'm looking at that and thinking, if Sambi Lokonga, and what I've seen of him so far, I really do. Really do. I'm looking at this and thinking, all right, they're not paying me $5 million a year to manage Arsenal, but I'm listening to what the players are saying. I'm looking at the formation. I'm seeing how they play, and to me, it seems natural then that the partnership could be Partey and Lokonga, with Lokonga being slightly deeper, maybe doing what people wanted Basuma to do, Partey, and then you've got your Odegaard or your ESR. It's not, to me, it's like it's not fucking rocket science. I'm
just thinking that you took that thought right out of my head.
I've not come up with a formula to turn fucking base things into gold. I'm just listening to what the players are saying and that, but sometimes it seems that there's like this stubborn will. I know I've got what I want to, you know what I mean? There's no relenting. There's none. It's like, oh, okay, I never considered that. I was thinking of going this way, but you know what? Okay, let's have a look at that. It seems, do you know what I'm getting at?
Yeah, I do. Since the Villarreal game last year.
Doesn't seem to be any of that. So
I completely agree with you. Since the Villarreal game last year, with Arteta, I completely agree with you, Stan. What?
Oh, I don't know. I was waiting to see if Stan was going to respond there. I don't know. Ryan, did you hear everything that was going on? I know you were looking for that tweet.
It took me forever. I didn't realize how old it was. It was 7 days old. Chris Wheatley on YouTube. He says on YouTube, he said, Charlie Patino likely to be named in the upcoming Carabao Cup game against Wimbledon. We probably expect him to be on the bench this game. I've been told he's really impressing the Arsenal players in the first team. So I would think he knows if he's, I guess that means he's registered. I don't know. And I think me and you talked to this. In training, there's a picture of him next to Tomiyasu. He's wearing the 24. And that's a very low number.
Yeah.
Usually like 91, 87. So, and that's Reece Nelson's old number. So
I just said that I'd like Stan to see a total turnover in the team, but then I thought to myself, wait a minute, Laka could use some minutes. I wouldn't mind him starting. And as far as if it is not Laka and Abba, whoever's number 3 on Arteta's depth chart is going to start as striker against Wimbledon. Why is there a big ad in my thing? Is that my computer or you guys?
No, I'm sharing a picture right now.
That's not
good point there from Raid in the chat box about registering players, which I didn't know. It says players under 21 don't need to be registered.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But like you're right, Ryan. That 24, that's a big number. That's part of the team, right?
Yeah, Reece Nelson's old number, and he was 91. So this is new. So there's a development here with this, and what this says to me about Charlie Patino is that he's not going anywhere. This says to me that Charlie Patino's sticking around because you don't change the number like that for one game. He's now number 24 in this side.
Is Nketiah healthy?
Yes.
I don't know. Is
Then
it?
he's
Sorry,
starting.
yeah.
He's the number 3, right? He's number 3
I would
behind.
think Balogun's ahead of him, but I don't know.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if Balogun jumped ahead of him, but that's the way Arteta works. Last year, there were a handful of us that wanted to see Balogun in the game, but he went with his third choice, which was Nketiah. I don't think this is rocket science. I'm sorry to use that phrase twice, Stan, but Laka could use some minutes to me, and why not start him?
I mean, go ahead, Stan. Sorry.
I was going to say, it's almost like Arteta listens to the Arsenal podcast, listens to their lineups and goes, yeah, well, fuck you. And
Yep.
this guy does something completely, whatever it is he wants to do. But Gary put up a little bit earlier what his starting lineup would be, and it's exactly what I would go for. It's exactly. I don't know whether Arteta's going to do that, but, give the first team players, let them have that time off, let them concentrate towards that North London derby. Surely the team that Gary put up earlier is good enough to go out and beat Wimbledon. It's it's got to be.
Well,
It's got to be, and this gives players an opportunity to show the manager that they may be knocking on the door for more minutes. If Martinelli gets on the pitch, he needs to make the most of it. Balogun gets on there, needs to make the most of it. ESR has been looking a little bit rusty for me this season, along with Saka as well. Make the most of it. I want to see that team. Exactly that team is what I would like to see.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably put Lokonga in instead of Chambers, but yeah.
Lokonga's the only one missing there. I'd like to see in there as well.
I think out of this lineup, I guess I put it this way, out of the lineup against Burnley, I think I'm going to say this one. I think Martinelli, I think probably Chambers or Cedric, whichever he prefers, which is probably Cedric at right back. And
you reckon? I think he's got Chambers ahead of Cedric,
I think didn't Cedric
play
against West Brom, or was it Chambers? Who played?
Chambers was playing the Premier League matches till Tomiyasu.
But this season Chambers has been solely used as a center back. So I think they're going to play. I don't know.
Chambers played it right back against City.
He was playing right back against City.
That was it. Regardless, I think Tomiyasu is going to sit. I think Martinelli's definitely going to play, and I think that's maybe Lacazette over Aubameyang. Other than that, I think it's going to be very strong. I think Arteta has a tendency to go very strong.
For example, you think he'll play Tierney at left back?
That's interesting. I don't think so because of his.
He's too injury prone right now in his Arsenal career. He's too injury prone. No, have a seat.
I wouldn't even say that. I would say he had cramping in the last game. So I would be
Gabriel and Ben White. You think we'll go with Gabriel and Ben White?
Put it this way, I think he's going to go a lot stronger than what we're saying, because I agree with Gary. I think we play that lineup. Maybe you put Lokonga in instead of Chambers. But I think he's going to go way stronger than that.
Hang on, let me bring Rowan in. Rowan, go ahead.
I think that the six that we had named last show, forms the nucleus of our team. The back four plus Partey plus Ramsdale. These guys should have a rest, right? Definitely.
I agree.
Don't play any of them. Up front, I still think there is merit in playing a stronger, team. But the reason why I wouldn't play Saka or ESR is because they look rusty and they look like they've been a little bit overplayed, especially Saka. Seems like he's had a long summer and he seems like. But I wouldn't mind Lacazette playing there. Even Aubameyang coming off the bench. Because in reality, we've scored 2 goals in the Premier League. Our front guys aren't really gelling together. And if that means that they need to go out and have another 6-0 rout, then they might as well go and do that. So play Odegaard if you have to. Play Lacazette. Play Aubameyang if you have to. Play Martinelli. These guys are players that you can play. But the defense should not play generally because those guys deserve a rest, and they've earned their rest because of the clean sheets that they've got.
The viewer Mike Mosley, he said go strong. I wonder, if going strong is that lineup that you posted before, BG, because I thought that was a pretty strong lineup that should beat Wimbledon. I'm not just sure about Balogun on the right, but I like that lineup too, and they should win that game handily, even with that squad. Is that a going strong to you guys? That lineup that you posted there before?
Whose lineup?
I mean, it's strong enough for Wimbledon, but it's
Yeah.
it's not the strong.
You'd want stronger than that. You'd want
Well,
stronger.
There was a good
Brentford's put one up there as well.
there was a good point made earlier today that if that side right there that Gary basically put up there, if that side can't beat Wimbledon, are they even really good enough to be our backups?
That's all right. I'd rather know. I want to
Yeah.
know about these players, and I think I would go. It's a bit FIFA-ish, right? Just rotate the whole team, give them a chance, because if you are some of these players, you have to get minutes, right? You have to have some minutes. Otherwise, why stay at the club? You know,
Yeah, I agree.
And the thing is, if you get those minutes, force an issue. Show the manager, I'm knocking on the door. And as a fan, that's what I want to see. If that team goes out that Gary put up, and the only change I would make would be Lokonga in there. But if that team goes out and gets their pants pulled down by Wimbledon, then you're going to be like, well, I'd rather know, right? I'd rather know whether these guys are good enough to back up the first team.
I totally agree. Right now, at this present moment in time, for me, Mari is too slow for the Premier League. I know he's had some good moments, but he's too slow for. Go out there tomorrow, Mari, and beat Wimbledon or whoever the hell we're playing.
We'd want to see whether this guy's good enough to at least be a backup, right? Can he be a backup?
Exactly.
Are you listening to something, Ryan, or are you?
No. I'm looking at Why Not's 11. I don't think Pepe should play. I like Why Not's 11. He wanted you to put it up, and I think it's good. I don't think Pepe should play. But then again, he scores against the lesser teams. Maybe I'll give him some confidence. So I don't hate it either. I
like his moniker for Dedrick.
What I will say was I didn't realize how weak our 11 was against West Brom.
It is weak, isn't it?
I'll read it to you guys. So we had Ramsdale in goal. I think that was Ramsdale's first game for us.
Yes.
So our center backs were Holding and Kolasinac. I forgot about that. Left back was Tavares. Right back was Chambers. Our midfield pivot was El Nene and Xhaka. And then Odegaard was in front of them. And then you had Saka on the. This is where it got strong in the front. Our front four was strong. So you had Odegaard center. Left was Saka. Right was Pepe. And the striker was Aubameyang. That's interesting because, you know, when we played West Brom, we were coming off of 2 opening losses. Now that we're playing Wimbledon, if you want to go by stats, I guess a proverbial weaker team because they're in League One. We're coming off 2 wins. So do we flip it? Do we maybe say, maybe keep the defense, gel them a little more? The attack we could kind of play a little weaker because we're coming off. But then again, we're not scoring. So I don't know. It's a very interesting because it's like almost we have to have like a night and day approach because coming off of 2 losses, granted, I get it. It was Chelsea, Brentford, but Brentford and Chelsea, we're coming off 2 wins. Wimbledon's a weaker team, and then I read this today, which I think was very interesting. Out of the top 4 English leagues, the team that has the most set piece goals, I can't speak. Team has the most set piece goals, Wimbledon at 9, and we rank dead last in XG from set pieces. So, what do you do? Do you play the physical? Do you play the physical defense that we have?
We play.
I don't know.
You know what you do when they have a free kick? Instead of having one guy lying down doing the old draft excluder, we have 2 guys lying down. You know what I mean? We're like, pack it in there.
How are we dead last? We scored a free kick.
No, and conceded
XG again.
XG. All right, so I'll read this.
XG again.
Wimbledon has scored more set piece league goals than any other side in the top 4 English divisions this season. 9. Arsenal have conceded the highest XG from set pieces in the Premier League this season, 2.7.
Well,
but
I mean that's one stat. It's one stat.
Anyways,
I get it, but interesting.
Our defense, even then, you know, even with Chambers and Holding in central defense, I think we should be good enough to beat them, right? And we should have enough firepower to score enough. Maybe they are going to score 2 goals, but we should be able to score 4, right? And that's why I want a good front four, and 45 minutes in, 50 minutes in, if we are winning 2-3-0, then take them off. Why do you want to create a situation? And these games don't go into extra time. Right now, the games don't go into extra time. It's just penalties right away. So you don't want to be in that situation. This is a realistic chance for a trophy, and our guys need to be up for it. And whoever needs to come in needs to be up for the task. But the eye needs to be on Sunday. That's the main game. No excuses for that.
I don't want to sound arrogant, but I think that our under-23s team should be able to beat a League One team.
Ooh, I don't know about that. I don't think so. Our under 23 is not as good as you think it is.
Yeah, I just want to go back to Ryan. You were using some stats based on this season, but we haven't even played enough games. The common thing you usually say is don't even look at the Premier League table till after 7 games have been played. You can't blurt out stats of how terrible defensively we are. When we had
the stat was really to show how good Wimbledon is in set pieces, not really how bad we are. That was just a caveat. But yeah,
okay.
I think nine set piece goals in what 5? They probably played a couple more than us. 6 or 7 games. 8. Okay, 8. Excuse me. So they're averaging over 1 a game. So.
All right. I don't want to sound arrogant, but our ladies' team should be able to beat.
I mean, They're where are they in the standings in League One? They're like toward the top, right? They're like bottom of the top. I don't know, but
is it home or away?
Examining it, they're a League One team. We are the Arsenal. Stop giving them so much damn respect, except for Stan, who says the ladies can beat them.
I'm not giving them.
Are we home or away tomorrow?
Home.
Okay.
That shouldn't matter either.
No, I don't know. I'm not worried about the game. I'm just curious. I think I'm with Rohan on this. I'm very curious to see what kind of decisions he makes today. Because I think, and I'm not saying it should, I think it will impact the decisions he makes on Sunday, which is the more important game, and the game that we need to focus on more. And I'm not dismissing Wimbledon, not saying, I'm not even thinking about it, but like it's the North London derby. Like I just, it's very hard not to dismiss Wimbledon tomorrow, especially when you have something as crazy as Jacques is coming back, and he might start for us. So, yeah, I guess in a way I am dismissing Wimbledon. I'm still thinking about an hour before kickoff on Sunday. Am I going to see Jacques' name on that sheet? And I'm like preparing myself for it. I really am. I'm trying. I've been preparing myself since he got the red card. When I figured out, that's the first game he's back. I was just like, okay, like I need to like breathe. I need to see what's going on because I know that good things can happen. He could come back, he could start, and then we could win, and he could play great. He could score a fucking cracker from outside the 18. He has done it for us, but it's just I don't know. It's just
I think
seeing what moves he makes tomorrow.
I think tomorrow if Lukonga doesn't start, that's a good sign.
Yeah, but who starts in his place?
What did you say, Glenn? Is who?
If Lukonga, did I say his name wrong too?
No.
If he starts tomorrow, I think Jacques is starting on Sunday. Yeah. But if Lukonga does not start tomorrow, I think that may be a sign that Arteta's finally getting his shit together instead of patting people on the butt after they get a red card.
And the only reason you think in the real world, right? If Mikel Arteta thinks that Granit Xhaka let him down when he got sent off, he let him down and is disappointed in him, then you're not in a rush to start him, right? But as that pat on the arse, that's an attaboy. Attaboy, you know?
And I think that's why that's perfect that you said that, Stan, because that goes back to again why I think Glenn's so mad, and that's why I'm so mad. Because all 5 of us, and probably most, if not all, the chat saw Jacques as quitting on the team. He let his team down. He let the manager down. But then he pats him on the back. So obviously he didn't let Arteta down.
On the arse.
Also there was I don't know if you guys saw this on the stream you guys were watching or whatever channel it was on.
Unless he was patting on the arse for the cameras, and then in the changing room he's like, "What the fuck?"
No, but while VAR was looking at I think VAR was looking at the call. They showed what's his name, Silverberg, the assistant, Silverberg and Arteta looking at an iPad, which I'm assuming they were looking at the tackle, and Arteta's like acting as if that's not a red card. Like, what are you doing? So, and
he can't be that stupid.
And I agree with Tanner. I don't want to argue whether it is a red card or not a red card. But if Arteta really did think that it wasn't a red card, tough luck, wasn't a red,
And
it doesn't matter.
I'm really
the fact that he put the team in that situation,
Jeopardy.
he wanted out. He wanted to quit. He quit, and when the going, that's what he does. When
That-
the puck gets going.
I'm not going to argue with this. He made a bad play.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to argue.
It's a bad play. But to sit there and say that he quit, like he did it intentionally, he knew he was going to get sent off.
quit.
That's what you're saying. You're saying
Tanner,
right now that he did it.
multiple times.
You're saying right now that he did it intentionally to get himself sent off.
I
the
said
team.
as well as
That's exactly what you're saying.
No. I said he quit on the team. I didn't say
No, that's what you're saying.
Well, I'm saying he quit on the team. I'm saying he quit.
You're saying that he quit on the team. So in other words,
Yes.
he did this intentionally to get himself sent off because he quit. That's what you're saying.
No, because he didn't care enough.
I don't know his motive.
Because he didn't care enough for the team.
Exactly. Thank you.
If he
Ryan.
cared enough for the team, he would have stayed on his feet. He's an experienced player. He captains Switzerland. He knows what happens if you go with 2 feet off the ground. Does he not know that?
It's not like it's not happened to him before, right?
Yeah.
It's not like this is new.
It's
Tanner.
not-
He's
it's not-
done this
He
before.
did take the easy way out.
I mean, you're telling me that. I mean, if that's the case, and if you really believe that, how on earth do you have any faith in Mikel Arteta? Because what you're
I
saying
don't.
then is Mikel Arteta.
So I
No. I mean, you literally, if this is how you think, then you're saying that. Well,
Not just
no,
me,
but
I've
it's
heard
but
this
it's
on
but
other
it's but it's but it's but it's
yeah,
but I can have it both ways. I can have it both ways.
no.
I can have Mikel Arteta accept quitting, and I can still root for that. If
Well,
that's the case, I'll tell you right now on live YouTube stream that if Mikel Arteta settles for quitting, done. I want lose every
Obviously.
fucking game, lose every game until he gets the fuck out of the club.
you don't mean that. You're just
I-
angry.
No, I'm not angry. That's no.
You don't.
Are you
either.
telling me that you are going to accept a manager that accepts his players quitting?
I see. Again, I don't think he saw that. I think he saw that he went in for a hard tackle. It wasn't a red card. We got fucked by the ref. He got fucked by VAR, and he feels bad for Xhaka that he's serving a 3-game suspension.
No, I
Okay,
don't
so
think
so wait,
I think
so
it's
now
what I think
okay.
it's what Arteta sees. I'm not saying I agree. I'm saying that's what Arteta sees.
Okay. I mean, that's a fair point because now you're saying that, okay, his opinion, I don't agree with his opinion. So you're saying you think this is Arteta's opinion. It was harsh.
I would
And
like
so
to think he
and
thought
so
that way.
and
That's
so
why he patted him on the ass.
with that in mind, then it makes the pat on the ass that this is like the pat on the ass heard around the world at this point. But the pat on the ass heard around the world. So that's his opinion. Then how do you really fault him for it? Because that's his opinion, and he went with it.
Well, Tanner, that's what I've been fucking saying since it happened at Man City. That's exactly what I've been saying. I said that. I said,
No, you're blaming. No, you're.
Okay.
Okay.
Around the world.
I mean, it really is. Rowan, go ahead, save us. Because it's the witching hour now. This is where I get mad because we've
gotta
talked
get
so
to
much
extra time.
shit for the night that now I'm just mad at it.
I don't think that I don't read that much into patting.
Wait, Rohan, just wait 1 second. All right, pat on the ass heard round the world. Thank you, BG. That was the funniest fucking thing I've heard in a week, and I'm gonna stop laughing right now to listen to you, Rohan. Go ahead.
No, so the only thing that I'm saying is that I don't read that much into him patting him on the ass, right? Like it doesn't matter because that was in the moment, right? Everybody was acting in the moment. What I will see of Arteta is whether he puts him in the starting lineup or not. If he puts him in the starting lineup, then I will think that Arteta accepts players who quit on their team. And it's not like Xhaka always wants to quit in his team, but at that point, he just thought that, maybe the easiest way is, or, he wants it so bad that I'm just going to go and do something that's going to be absolutely stupid. But he should know better. And even if his intent was not to let the team down, he just did that, and he should have known that. He's not a rookie, right? So for all of these reasons, I feel that there was some part of him that just wanted to go in and prove a point, which got him sent off, which is as good as letting the team down. And if Arteta plays him in the next game, which is the North London derby, when the team has been winning, if he had been losing, then that would be a different case. But the team has been winning. Our central midfield has been doing well, be it Lokonga, be it Odegaard, Partey, all of these guys have been doing well. There's no justification for Xhaka to come back in. And if he does, then that means that Arteta promotes this sort of culture.
In which case, nothing's going to change, and we're still sitting here saying, "But okay, well, he accepts it, and okay, I'm good." Because here's the thing: the one thing I will say is this: I see a lot of people talk about, if you're rooting for your team to lose. Let me put it to you this way: have any of you, and I've said this before on this show, and I'm going to bring it back again. Have any of you ever had a friend that was in a relationship that you looked at the relationship and you just said, that doesn't work? You're on the outside looking in, and you've got a different perspective, and you look at it and you say, this doesn't work. You two are miserable. It doesn't work. And you're in the back of your head, you almost say, someone needs to go nuclear here so that this ends. And you're rooting for an awful thing to happen. You're rooting one person cheats on the other. And in the back of your mind, you're saying that's probably the best thing that could happen here because that will facilitate change. If you are hell-bent, and I'm not saying I am, but if you are hell-bent on changing, you are 100% Arteta out, he's not the right guy, done. There's no coming back from this. Yeah, in the back of your mind, you kind of have to be like, if he wins, it's prolonging the inevitable. If he wins, it's just we're papering over the cracks. He's not the guy, and it's obvious to whoever it is that might be thinking that. So you're rooting for that awful thing to happen, which is the loss. I'll tell you right now that if Arteta is promoting a culture of players quitting on him, quitting on their teammates, which you're all advocating Xhaka has done, consciously done.
I haven't.
True. You've been oddly quiet through this. But you're going to jump in right after me. If that's what you're saying, then how do you say that if something has to happen, Arteta's not going to win games and then lose his job, right? He's not going to win games and then lose his job. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So if you believe that Arteta promotes a culture of quitting, and you still are okay with him being in the game or being in the job, and knowing that the only way he's going to be out of a job is to lose, but you're rooting for them to win, you're rooting for Arteta. And you're rooting for the culture to continue.
Again, I don't think Xhaka. I don't think he thinks Xhaka quit. So this point is moot.
Stan,
but you think he quit, and you think Arteta promotes it.
No,
wait, Ryan. Before you start having an argument with yourself again, I wanted to hear what I wanted to hear Stan's response, who was quiet.
I just don't subscribe to any of that. I don't subscribe that that's what is happening. I just think that Xhaka just has brain farts. I don't, but. My question, Rohan, you're a lawyer, right? Yes. Isn't there any legal loophole that can be exploited so that Xhaka can't play?
Do we have any legal recourse here, Rowan?
Give him a ticket.
There's got to be something in his contract, right? You're a contract.
I'm looking at all angles here. I'm just trying to cover all of our bases.
Arteta will get around anything that stops Xhaka, because Xhaka is his boy. That's the thing, So
let me say something because I'm really up against the deadline right now.
We're going to get into final thoughts. So Glenn, this will be yours.
I see what you're saying, BG, about if that is the case, but we won't know that unless a journalist has the balls in the press conference to say, "Why did you start Xhaka?" And I don't know if they're going to do that. And as far as rooting for Arsenal to lose, Arteta being manager of Arsenal is out of our control. So why let that control our enjoyment of the season? Do you understand what I'm trying to say with that? It's like,
good point, Glenn. I like that.
that's the only thing I can say. I remember when the
Are you
Mets.
enjoying losing?
No, of course not. But I can't control whether Arteta
I
is
hear
the
that.
manager of Arsenal, and they're not gonna. It's, it's just like a perfect example. My wife and I are exact political opposites, and we just agree not to talk about politics to each other.
Speaking of large Mars,
Speaking of, wow, how's that for timing?
And and so just hear me out for 1 second. So we are exact opposites politically. We agreed to never talk politics with each other because we've been married for 20 years and all the rest of the shit works. So whether she's right or I'm right, I'm not going to let that affect our marriage. Arteta, if he's a dickhead like that, if he does accept that, BG, yeah, I want him gone, but I don't control it, and I'm not going to root against my team.
Fair.
That's all I can say. Guys, I have to go. This was such a pleasure. I won't miss any more. I was
Welcome
just
back.
in a bad place. Thank you very much. I'll see you all real soon.
See you soon, Glenn. And then it was Rowan. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe this dictates final thoughts. We're at 2 hours.
Can I just say though, like what you said a moment ago, that if you're, if he's winning, then it's just prolonging him going. On the other side of the coin is, if he's winning, then there could be a case then that he's turning it around.
Sure.
Because at some point he's going to lose a game, right?
Right.
He's not going to go on an invincible run. If we start winning, for me, then he's turning it around. It's right. When we do eventually lose, it's the manner again of how you lose, right? That's what you're looking at.
Right.
So that's what you're looking at for me.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, and this, I'm sorry. Look, if you really think that Xhaka quit on his team, I mean, okay, Ryan, I hear what you're saying. You think Arteta doesn't see it that way.
Yeah. How
do you root for a team that a player quits on? It just doesn't. Guys make mistakes.
I can't control that because I did not root for Xhaka,
but guys,
Arsenal is bigger than Xhaka, and Arsenal is bigger than Arteta. No,
exactly.
Take a break. Take a break. Take a year off and just say, you know what? No, I'm good.
Because I like Arsenal, I don't like just because I don't like Granit Xhaka doesn't even like. Let's be real here. I think you guys all know Xhaka's not my biggest fan. I agree with Glenn. Glenn, Stan. He's not on my Christmas list either. But I still watch him, and to be fair, and maybe I'm a hypocrite. I'm gonna root for him if he's starting in the starting 11. I'm gonna back him. I want to win. I want 3 points.
Is it possible that he made a mistake? Is it possible that he like Stan said, brain fart?
It is possible. I mean,
it's possible, but he's done it before.
Well, but let me pose a different way of looking at it. Again, there are other sports that exist. And players in others, look, there are players all over the world who play football who make these mistakes. Are they all quitters? Are the players in the NFL who get penalized, who get called for holding 3 times in one game, are they quitters? Or well, that's not going to get you kicked out of the game.
That's very
personal
different.
Personal foul. Guy that goes in and leads with his shoulder, but the referee sees it differently and kicks him out of the game for targeting. Is he a quitter?
Well, you just said the ref saw it differently. If he threw a punch,
that's how the
But
the refs have seen similar, if not even worse, challenges to Granit Xhaka's and didn't even give a card.
Again, I'm not saying every tackle is a quit. Like you could I
understand that, and it was a poor challenge from Granit Xhaka. We agree there.
Yeah,
but I think to say that he's a quitter on his team and he did that intentionally is.
I didn't say he did it intentionally.
You said he quit on his team. It's not both ways.
I think subconsciously, I subconsciously quit on the team then.
But regardless of it's not he's still if he's quitting on his team.
Yes, it could be subconsciously.
If he subconsciously quit on his team, he subconsciously put in that challenge. He did it intentionally. He did it. The intent was there.
That's why he got sent off. Yes, because the intent.
And
was
you
there.
think, and this is what I don't understand. You're saying that he quit, but he didn't quit. Which is it? If he
No.
quit,
When did
the
I-
challenge was intentional, and he quit. That's
But
what
we
you're
spoke-
saying.
We spoke earlier about personalities when we were talking about Bernd Leno and Ramsdale. One being inhibited the other, and I think it's a little bit like that with Granit Xhaka. It's his personality, right? And then look at his reaction at Crystal Palace, the infamous reaction, throwing off the armband, fuck you. He is quite a person that at a certain time he can't keep his emotions in check. And I don't think that he deliberately thought, you know what, I don't want to play any more of this game. What can I do? I'm going to go in 2-footed. Hopefully I'll get a red card. But he did have a moment where things probably weren't going right for him, probably misplaced a few passes, and he went running in with that kind of going on in his head. And before he knew where he was, he couldn't pull out of the challenge. And he's probably walking off and thinking to himself, I've gone and done it again, didn't I? I've gone and done it again, But that's part of his makeup. And for me, Arsblog this week said it really well about Xhaka walking through the door of redemption. It happens every time. He'll have a moment, he'll get sent off and he'll cost us, and then he walks through the door of redemption and he walks along the path, has good games, and then guess what? He goes and does it again. Another red card, or another own goal, or a sloppy pass back that leads to a goal, and the cycle starts again. So for me, I'm just like, all of that stuff where he's walking down that road of redemption, it's no good if you undo it all and lose us points.
Well, I said the same thing, or I said the exact same thing earlier in the show.
So break the cycle.
He got the red card against Burnley, and then he played the best football of his life for us.
Break the cycle and get someone else in. Now, my only chink of light here is there've been rumours going around that Roma still haven't finished with trying to get Granit Xhaka, and that they're going to come in January. Could be clickbait, could be bullshit. I don't know. I can't remember the source. But I hang on to that. And if there's anything in there, maybe it might mean that we see less of him. If there is something going on behind the scenes and he's going to go off somewhere, hopefully the manager will think, well, I don't want to rely on this guy because his mind is elsewhere. Therefore, he doesn't play as much. Therefore, Jack doesn't care if he doesn't play as much because he knows he's going. That's my only shred of hope that I think, that we see less of Granit Xhaka. And that's just my opinion because I'm not big on him.
And another thing that I read today that apparently, I think this is complete bullshit, but since we're talking about Xhaka leaving the team, apparently Juventus is willing to offer us Weston McKennie for Xhaka.
Say again?
Juventus is prepared to offer us Weston McKennie for Granit Xhaka. I don't know if January in the summer, but
I also read that they want to pay, was it 50 million for Saka? Did you not see all of that?
That's
43 million.
Consider the sources there.
Yeah,
that's just. I mean, look, I think Granit Xhaka would fit in very well in Italy. I think he would. I think that's a league that suits him. I think he would be
fit in well in Italy because he's not here. He wouldn't be here then.
well, and that too. But I also think, goddamn dog hair. Sorry, guys. I also think that Weston McKennie is damn near perfectly suited for the Premier League. Just the way that he plays and the way that this league plays. I mean, he's young, but boy, that's a deal that I could see Juventus putting that idea forward. I mean, they need money. They can't afford to buy anybody really. So, and Weston McKennie's probably not a cheap player, I would think. So there's a way to get him off the books, get a player in that you think's probably going to do pretty well in that league, and that's a deal that makes a lot of sense for both teams. It's probably a pipe dream, but makes a lot of sense in my opinion.
It's fair.
But anyway, final thoughts. We're going to get out of here. We're at almost 2 hours and 15 minutes. So, Ryan, I'll give you the first go at final thought.
So I have two things. One thing, I have two facts, or I guess two statements I want to make. One of them's kind of stupid and funny, and I thought you guys would get a kick out of it. The other one is about Sunday's game. So I read a few days ago that David Luiz reveals that Ancelotti gave him a phone call to sign him at Real Madrid, but he decided to go to Brazil instead.
Go where?
To Real Madrid. Ancelotti wanted him. Ancelotti's like, come here, come to
Well,
Real
where's he
Madrid.
decided to go instead?
He's at Mari's old club, Flamengo, the team in Brazil. Yeah. And then the one thing I will say, so big chances in the first 5 games. We are second to last at 3. Last place team, Tottenham at 2. So it's going to be a very interesting game. I'm excited. I'm excited to see the 11 for obvious reasons, and I'm just excited to watch us play a meaningful game since our last 2 wins, hopefully last 3 wins. I hope all goes well. I hope no matter who the 11 are, I want us to win. I want us to put in a good performance. I'm going to be rooting for everybody. I want to tweet red or some variation of North London being red on Sunday. So let's make it happen.
Rowan, go ahead.
The 2 games coming up before our next one. I want to be talking about 2 wins. Tomorrow, I want to see a good attacking side. None of the 6 defensive 6, but then an attacking side, score goals, go into the North London derby. It's in the Emirates. We're gonna, this is the first derby at home, first game of that big 6 that's actually winnable, the only one actually right now, and we've got to assert ourselves, and that kickstarts our season. And hopefully we make the right choices. Hopefully we are brave coming out. This is the new team. This is Arteta's team, so there's no excuse. There's no saying that the previous regime signed these players and that's why there's no character. There's no blaming anyone else apart from these men on the pitch and that man on the sidelines. And I want to be supporting them, rooting for them. Hopefully there's some good football also in addition to to the win. That's going to be the icing on the cake, but the win is a must. We've got to get that. Yeah.
Stan, you're up.
Tomorrow, like Rohan said, I want to see another, kind of performance that we put together against West Bromwich Albion. I want to see a bit of a goal fest to ease us going into that North London derby. And it's a tricky one because the North London derby is one of them matches that when I watch it, I can be quite vocal in the house. It's that match that does get me quite vocal. And it's going to be interesting because my missus is going off to Ontario on Sunday, and her whole family are meeting at my house in the morning when the football is going on. And I've always, over the last 10 years, managed to put in a good impression to my potential in-laws, but they're going to be in the house during the North London derby, and they may see me in a different light, even though I'll be in another room. I'm sure they're going to hear me. So it's going to be interesting. And I hope that when we get back here next week, that we've still got a run going in the league. Big one. Big one.
Yeah, here. I mean, look, 4 wins on the trot's better than 3 wins on the trot, right? So I'm not overlooking tomorrow because I think I think we'll be able to glean a lot for Sunday's game after watching tomorrow's game. So yeah, that's all we got for you guys tonight. Lively chat. Thank you, gentlemen, and thank you to Glenn. Always appreciate these guys being on and getting a chance to talk a little Arsenal with them. Chat, Stan, shout out the chat. They were great tonight. A lot of good stuff out there.
Yeah, Tony's in there, and as everybody knows as well, that we're trying to raise money for Tony's peg. So just spread the word. I know a lot of people in here have already given, but always retweet it and let it go out. Got Daniel Shaw in there. You're Not Sentiment FC, Love Arse, who had one of my favourite comments of the night about Rabiot. And yes, I also think that Rabiot is arse wash, but I would take him as well. Iron Matty in the chat. I think Russ Morgan was in there as well. Ray Anderson, Gary in there, moderating as usual, and not forgetting Lone Star Londoner. And we're leaving at just the right time because we're getting into that era, that part of the night where Lone Star starts writing in all caps. And when that happens, it's we know it's coming towards the end of the show. Yeah, Ray Anderson, and just want to say, you know, thanks to always for everyone coming in. Michael Mosley, I hope I haven't missed anybody out. Retweet, let everybody know about the show. Let's build up a little bit of a community in here, and I hope to see you all back after we stuff the scum.
Yeah. Last thing for me here, real quick, guys. If you follow me on Twitter, which I would imagine most, if not all of you probably do, you've been seeing the Beagles thing. This is a very important thing to me. Obviously, as a Beagle owner, it is very sad to see what is happening with these animals. And if you need any more convincing, just go into your YouTube search bar and just type in Beagle testing, and you'll find it, and you will see just how awful it really is. Because I assure you, it is truly, truly awful when you see what they are doing. So in the description below, there is a link to a change.org petition to sign. The more people that sign it, obviously, the more traction and exposure it gets. And we need to get this to, I believe it's called the Home Office in England. Priti Patel is the woman's name who is in charge of things like this. And we need to get some legislation done so that I don't have to hire a team of Navy SEALs to airdrop onto this property in the middle of the night to rescue these dogs. That's and don't underestimate me, because I've got a few connections. But please sign the petition. You can follow them at Camp Beagle. It's at Camp Beagle OFFIC, like official, but I don't think they could fit it all in. Just search Camp Beagle. You will find it. Please do anything you can to support them. If you're across the pond, get yourself to Huntington, make yourself seen, and let's get these dogs out of horrendous living conditions. If you've ever seen the movie Hostel, this is what they're going to do to the dogs once they're sold off to the laboratories, and I'm not kidding. So thank you, everybody. I apologize for ending it on a down note, but we did have a lot of fun tonight. Please do your part out there for Tony, for the Beagles. You guys know what we're getting at here. As always, it has been good footy talk. Thank you, everyone. We will see you out there.
What do you think?